Are we live? We're live. Oh shit.
We're live.
I was just talking into the microphone. Did you retweet it on the Apex? Okay. All right. Or not retweet it, but
Oh, here we go.
okay. All right. You guys ready?
I think so.
All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Apex, the podcast. We are here. We are ready to go, and we have some very special guests here. Obviously, like I said, Finn was going to be with me the entire week, but we also have Jumba, and we also have JHawk here in the flesh. We are crammed inside the corner of a hotel room somewhere in Los Angeles. And we are live. We're ready. We just got finished with the second half of the group stage, and we're going to go over all of the different storylines, all of the different things that happened. I guess the overarching stuff is Dark Zero is insane. They're completely out of this world good. And that's basically that. I mean, Dark Zero really just dominated. Like, the entire day can be summed up for anybody who's a casual to just Dark Zero is just better than everybody, and they just continue to be better than everybody. We already knew that going through the entire playoff, but they just continue to put on a show and break records that have, you know, that are insane. Like the amount of points that they got today, the amount of kills that they put away today. They could have made the winner's cut in just the last set alone. They didn't need to play any other sets. They could have just made it alone off of that. But Dark Zero is absolutely insane. They are the cream of the crop right now. They're next level.
You're right. You're right. You're staring at me like the whole time. He's speaking over at me.
I want to create eye contact.
Yeah,
I want to make
like,
sure
I
I'm
just
looking
you look
over.
at Jay not once.
Yeah,
You know,
he
maybe-
wants you
Well,
to glaze on.
JHawk
Not
wouldn't
to
take
mention
a picture
he
with
was.
me.
It looked like he wanted to do the podcast on his own for us. Like I didn't know when he was gonna stop.
JHawk wouldn't take a picture with me today.
Okay,
I
hold
don't.
on.
I don't understand why. I don't know what I
said I
did.
would.
But you
and then
didn't.
you
though.
didn't ask me after I came back from the green room.
Well, you thought I was setting you up. You thought I was doing
No.
some sort of setup.
No, that was when you asked me to take a picture of you and Keon.
But
And then I did take the picture of you and Keon.
which is a great backstory for a
What a
picture.
great friend I am.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Yeah.
that.
This guy's out here picture checking Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Jay
Big time in
did
you.
let me use his banner yesterday, right? Or was that?
No, that was Bronzies.
Was it Bronzies?
I bought that one immediately after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For people who don't know, we have the Designful banner. If you're listening on audio, we've got the Designful banner behind us, and that's really just a good omen for how this pod's going to go. That's why it's here.
So, are you trying to say we're getting uncomfortable about something? Like in the corner of this hotel room? Like,
No, I'm just saying. Well, I mean,
I am
that's up to
comfortable.
your-
Yeah.
that's up to your interpretation.
we're getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
that's
I'm
that's
leaving
what
it
we're
at the
doing.
door.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's a lot of different ways we could go, but I think the best way to do it is to go through each block. And to start off the day, I believe this was B versus C. Block number 1, Aurora comes away with the victory. They were first place with 56 points. Second was Furia with 55. Third was Red Rams with 50. And fourth was Fnatic with 49. I'm going to start off with JHawk here. Jay, overarching kind of thoughts on this first block. I know you were a little busy and didn't have like the full time to kind of watch it because you were on the desk. But
No, we watched the whole thing.
oh, you got to
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
it? Okay,
Yeah.
sweet.
'Cause we gotta talk about
They
it.
gotta talk about
Let's
they gotta
talk
talk
about
about the games as well.
Let's talk about it.
I gotta pay attention.
he has to be the most locked in. That's why he's in the back room,
You know
not
what?
in the
Hand
crowd.
up, hand up. That's on me. Hand up. That's on me. That's on me. What were your thoughts coming away from this first block?
Aurora continues their domination from the day before. They didn't win a single game. They got second, and they didn't even have the most kills. It was just consistent top 5 placements. But to me, Red Rams was the story because they start off 2-0ing TSM at Lightning Rod, which forced TSM to kind of back down and then go to they were still Lightning Rod, but it was like the Thunderwatch area of it, right? And so they kind of take the lesser loot and then rotate, and TSM just like sucked on Storm Point. And then they kind of had to have a little bit of a comeback on World's Edge to kind of save their day. But Red Rams getting that 50 points, because not only did they do the 2-0 on TSM and Lightning Rod, but then they go and win one of those games, which was like a far southern pull over at Pylon. So I was pretty impressed by them because I had very low expectations for them coming in because they're contesting TSM and SSG and Aurora and like so many big name teams. but they've looked pretty darn good so far. So,
And it completely just yesterday's live stream. I just talked about how bad it was for a team to try to test one of the greatest teams of all time, and then they followed it up by absolutely just shitting all over my take and just being like, no, we're going to contest them and we're going to win. And not only are we going to win, but when it comes to the third one, it's like we're going to basically make them back off. And it was crazy. From your perspective, Jumba, something else that popped into your mind from watching this first block.
Well, I was just gonna say, considering your bets are always wrong, if one of your takes something the opposite having of it, doesn't surprise me. Not one bit.
No, it doesn't.
It's true.
It truly is.
It's true.
I am so bad at this. I'm just terrible.
I mean, the we'll just move on from that. Don't worry. But I mean, the Red Rams was the biggest thing in that set. I think they were contesting SSG in that exact same set, right? And they did good with the first half because their second half they didn't do as well. But they were the team I was looking out for the most. But I see here Made in Heaven. You know, I think that Made in Heaven was someone that even Jay and I kind of looked at as an early exit, and they put up 47 points for this set. So pretty impressive from them to see that they're pulling that up here. You know, they're kind of like the dream team coming in here, or the dream run, I should say, with come from PSQ, getting into Pro League, and then now getting to LAN, and then making this happen. And I think they called winners after the end of the day. So,
yeah, I believe they did. I'm gonna have to check that again, but I believe they did. Finn, for you, anything that came from this block?
Well, during this block, I was at Respawn's studio, so I didn't get to watch.
You got to meet Pathfinder.
That I did.
no way.
Yeah.
The actual robot.
Yes, the real one.
The real robot.
The real
He
robot.
was real life.
Yes,
Cool.
in the lobby.
Did he? How was
still-
his dab?
Yeah,
Was it clean?
it's a good call.
No.
Not a clean
Not
dab.
a clean
Not a
dab?
clean dab.
All right,
Not
well,
clean.
I'll keep that in mind.
Pathfinder literally high-five people
Needs
in
to-
game, and he's got no
Needs
good
to do
dab.
some like WD-40 type of deal.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. That makes
But
sense.
what I did get to watch was the Furia win. They had 18 kills, which I thought was pretty gnarly. I'm not surprised necessarily that Vax is doing well, fitting in considering they were originally having Vax as the third, and then his Watson kind of came into the picture. But you know, I think there's a lot of people that may not have like the highest like praises for Madness, because like they may see him as like for maybe stuff outside of the game, but you cannot deny that he is a very solid IGL. Like he's probably got one of the best mechanics for an IGL, like I think that we have in the pro scene, and so I think he's going to continue to keep showcasing, like, hey, I am a good IGL. Like he's pretty legit, and
Well, I was saying that to Jay in the third set there because he was also frying in one of the last games, and I don't think it's underrated. I think a lot of the pros know, but like his skill with SMGs for an M&K IGL especially is really good. I think it's not talked about. I don't think it's underrated. I think it's not talked about. I think it's because you said like a lot of the stuff that happened outside of the game is kind of like almost like lowered his stock for that fact. And
Right.
Wasn't winning, but you know, being back with Vax, they got a history of winning.
Right.
Like they won a lot of ALGSs and even a match point final back in the day, summer circuit. So, you know, those two can do it. They got a key on now too.
it's good to see Madness back in. I mean, he's so much of a good IGL. He deserves to be at LAN. Like,
Yeah, and
it is what it is.
I mean, I don't care what sport it is. You need a lot of different personalities in what, like, you need people that have just a range of different like, you need to have all those different types of people in the scene to kind of continue make it grow, because there has to be that balance of like, oh, there's people that I really, really like. Maybe there's people that I'm not like the biggest fan of. That's kind of what makes every league. Like there's just certain things that go into it. I also did see too that he did an interview kind of talking about being the villain, I think was the
Yeah, I saw
way
that.
they phrased the question
Yeah.
to him. And I thought that was super interesting too, because I think, you know, he knows it, and it's not like he is necessarily a villain, but there is a
A stigma.
there's a stigma.
Yeah,
right? There is
definitely
a
would agree
stigma.
so.
I wanted to go back to TSM a little bit here because they did struggle, and throughout yesterday too, it seems like their team fighting is just off. It just isn't quite there yet. They haven't put the pieces together. Lots of weird fights. I kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts on what you're thinking is going on with TSM.
I don't have much. I don't ever no matter when TSM's doing bad, I don't want to even like try to dig deep on it. Those guys can be last place one moment and then next yell blank and they're 5th or 6th or 1st. So yeah, you know what? It doesn't worry me at all. They got, all night tonight to lock it in, figure it out. They don't have a losers bracket in the morning. They're in winners, so they got lots of time to iron their stuff out. I'm not worried.
You have
Never
anything,
doubted
Jim?
those guys.
I think they're playing in a way right now where they're really reliant on like 1 or 2 games, which you see like DZ or Aurora Alliance or some of these other teams are like frying out every game. I'm not worried either, but I do see what you're saying with the team fighting, because it feels like when they do get that momentum, then they have those big games, but then the next game, all of a sudden, it's like it's just completely chalked, and it doesn't feel like there's a lot of cohesion between the 3 of them, and then they lose one that they probably should win, and then like they die way earlier than they should. I don't know what all that is specifically, because we're watching in the arena main broadcast, they're swapping around POVs, so we don't get to see everything TSM's doing that like leads up to those moments. So I don't know if it's like specific rotations or if somebody's kind of throwing or whatever it is. But I did notice that at the end of the last set on Storm Point, they were rocking the Bang Blood Horizon. Do y'all know if they were running that the other sets?
Yeah, they were on Storm Point. I believe they were
Storm
always
Point?
running the Bang Blood Horizon.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was looking at that when they were when they were contesting Red Rams for specifically, because I remember Red Rams took the height on reps with Horizon. I was like, oh, that Horizon is going to cause a big problem. Then I'm like, wait a minute, TSM's also got Horizon though, so they definitely were running that in the first set this morning. I guess I'm not entirely sure yesterday, but because I didn't get to see all the games yesterday.
Okay, then I didn't know if that was like a change and that was an adjustment that they had, because like I said, I couldn't remember.
I have a question. How do you feel about it being Evan that's on Horizon and not Hal on Horizon?
I get it, because the current meta is the Bang Blood, and you just want the blood to be able to see things, and Hal wants to see things. So
I'm like, so I almost want to put like reps on Bang and then Hal on Horizon and then Evan on Bloodhound, but I don't know if that necessarily enables him to like.
I just don't think Evan he's not like that frontliner though, that's like going to go out there and like not only do like crazy amounts of damage, but like I think lead from the front.
Fair.
Which Hal can. So although Horizon like with the Q could like go up and above the smoke, I think Hal would also just get really pissed off every time he just can't see anything.
And having to also call out to your when to hit your Q for
That's
your
true,
teammates
yeah.
is like, it's the same thing as an IGL sometimes. Like reps is very independent, but we were talking about or I was watching Jay's video with Noct playing Bang for Optic, and like just the disconnect of having to tell your players just to smoke sometimes because they're not used to that. I don't think it would work good for him.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
I just feel like reps
I
of all
get
people
why.
could, because like I feel like he has enough game sense in to be able to play that.
You're saying you'd put reps on what?
Oh, wait.
Because initially you said
Did I?
Hal
You said
Horizon,
Hal on Horizon,
and you said
and then reps on Bang,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
Verholst on
which he's
Blood.
playing Bang currently.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the Hal and Verholst things are swapped. But like, here's the thing: is
My
like
fault, guys.
whenever
Sorry.
it's
Hey,
long
I've-
week.
I've heard so many pros complain about the fact that they just like can't see anything, and like you just don't get to fight anything.
Yeah,
And
it's without
that's,
digis.
that's why they don't like playing anything that's not Bang Blood. Like they just feel like they have to play it because you want to see stuff. So I feel like Hal, he's your best player when it comes to fighting on the team. So you just put him on the character
Right.
that gets to fight the most. Like that, because I do get he's like the best Horizon of all time, but if he doesn't have the ability to see, then he can't frag out all the time. So you just let him see.
So I didn't get to watch scrims leading up to this week. Were they not playing Horizon at all? Because like we know that like as much as we're saying like Hal's the best Horizon, we also have seen that Verholst can with time, be top of the game in any character. So did he not have time to practice that?
I don't know.
I guess I didn't
Regionals,
catch
they were
the-
playing Valk. They dropped that. I think they tried Caustic for a while on Storm Point, but Caustic's just not as good on that map because how much open space there is. I didn't pay attention enough to the last 2 weeks of scrims because I was trying to pump out the videos. But,
Yeah, same.
So I don't know when he specifically swapped with Horizon. I just didn't know if it was an adjustment today from like because maybe their team fighting wasn't as great, like you were saying, but apparently it wasn't. So.
You guys want some quick? What were you gonna say, Jumbo?
No, I was not much other than just like I don't think they did it just for the contest, knowing they're gonna have to contest like almost a contest comp like this first set, but I know they definitely used it on Stormpoint in the first set, and then in the second set they swapped off, or not the second set, the second half they swap off Horizon for World's Edge.
I don't even think it's a contest comp because I
Yeah,
actually,
'cause, like-
when I noticed TSM did it, because I wasn't paying too much attention to comps the last couple days, all of a sudden I realized like a lot of people are running Bang Blood Horizon. Like it wasn't just TSM, and I think it's just they just realized like Caustic's not as useful on the map. So like
I still don't get. I can go on a rant about that, but before I do that, I want to talk about Aurora's comp.
Yeah.
Well, they're having a lifeline. Like, how do you guys feel about lifeline in comp right now?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Was actually speaking of comps, like this is a comp where I mean Aurora won the block with a lifeline.
Like, is it hard decky? Is it hard decky diff or is it lifeline diff? Like, that was my main like question.
I don't think Lifeline like is the reason they do good. I think they're really good anyway. But like the current meta, think about it. With the Lifeline, they can get to red faster than literally anybody, and they want to go fight people. And they're also triple M and K, so like having an armor diff advantage is probably big when you're facing a bunch of rollers. So and it's just like really tough. Like if you're a triple blue team and you're just walking around, or like even if you have purple and the entire other team's got triple red because they got Lifeline and Evo caches and all that kind of stuff, and then they just like sprint at you. So I feel like it just really enables their specific play style. But I see other teams try to do it, and I just like Navi was doing it earlier. I think Fnatic has tried it. Fnatic I think could pull it off, but some of these other teams that I think are trying it, I don't think it works unless you play like Aurora does.
I agree. I was gonna say that. I don't think it's any of that. It's the team. It's all in the team. It's because of the way they play, and then like even when they're able to, because they play so aggressive and they're taking so many fights. When their players get knocked, like having that lifeline helps for them. Like a lot of people say like you really shouldn't play for your players to go down, but because they're playing so aggressive, like they're the only ones that can kind of do it. Almost, right?
Yeah, it's probably good.
And then shout out Burke. He kind of made a point to say like in the fights, what he was noticing is like a lot of teams are like focusing the lifeline to get the lifeline down first, which then opens up angles for the other two players. Or then after, if they're focused on the other two players and they get the knocks, the lifeline gets the resets for them. And they always have double gold shield because they're landing trials as well. So then the trials, the lifeline, like they can just get their players back up with a full HP all the time really quick.
There was one, I think it was in this block. There was one game where they had, it was, I don't remember exactly where it was, but the lifeline's all the way down, like deep. And then the other two are just kind of waiting back. And I'm like, shouldn't they flip this? Like,
That's just hard decky, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was like, I want to say it was like a Barrow zone. No, not Barrow. What's, why am I forgetting it now? It's because like midnight. What's the zone like, outside Jurassic?
Cedo?
Maybe it's Cedo. No, I don't know.
Are you talking about Zoo Station?
No, Jurassic's like middle map.
Yeah, I know. It's
Pylon,
close to
Jurassic,
Jurassic. Something outside of
Cascades.
Jurassic. No, it's
it's like
definitely not
those little
Cascades.
buildings
That's
before.
all-
Yeah, there's
POIs.
little buildings like outside Jurassic is what it is
Yeah.
somewhere.
Cedo.
East?
Yeah, probably Cedo. It's Cedo, I think. It's Cedo or it might be Zeus. One of the two. Anyways.
Zeus is way up north. Cedo is literally
Yeah,
right
no,
to the left.
Cedo's. Sorry, it's
Yeah,
Cedo. It's
yeah.
Cedo. Then, anyways,
messed you up.
regardless of the fact, it's yeah, he's just pushing up into those little buildings,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
it
and,
was
like,
it was just an interesting
and he's just
play.
like he like what's it called? He like jumps up, gets taken down to like 1 HP, quickly pops like a couple shields and jumps up again. Like he was just in
yeah,
there.
it's so funny to watch.
That's
You-
Herdeki for you, though.
It's one of those things where you're just like, this is how good they are. They don't care. Like they're just like, we're gonna win it anyway, and that's exactly what they did. Moving on from all of that, I kind of wanted to talk. I want some quick Wyatt analysis. I'm just gonna say, in the future, I would really appreciate it if they didn't put Serenity and E8 above one another because their logo looks almost exactly the
I
same.
want to throw it real quick. I think it was Pylon.
It was Pylon.
Pylon.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
it was
makes sense.
Pylon. It was these buildings there, right outside Jurassic.
yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Anyways,
But yeah, so that's my quick Wyatt analysis. Like, don't put Serenity and E8 right next to
Wyatt's
each other.
really into jerseys and
Well,
emblems.
but like it's their logo is the same. It's the same thing.
It's not though.
It's
It's-
very similar.
it's
not the
similar.
same.
It's not the same.
but it's very similar.
But it's not the same.
It's not the
but
same. Like
it's so
semantics
similar
matter
that-
here.
It's so similar.
Yeah, Wyatt was tweaking the whole side. He's like, "Whoa, EA!" He's like, "Wait, the Serenity?"
Yeah. It was
Just
tough
look in
for
that
me.
bottom left
It was,
corner.
it was tough for me. I could do that.
There's
Yeah, that's
that
probably
little
better.
line.
So wait, this was that the question for Finn about his analysis on the logo, or?
No, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Oh, okay.
I was
Because
just
then,
throwing
I mean, like you could throw it to Finn. But I was gonna say, what were your top three of that set then?
top three
let's say-
logos of that set. Obviously, Furia. That's our lion. I think I said Fnatic, and then I said
Boogie Borders. Boogie Borders you had
yeah,
at
I had
one.
Boogie Borders at one.
Is a good one.
Yeah. So that was the top three logos of that set. Just so everybody knows. E8, they get 9th on this
Criminal.
day, and E8
Criminal that Cloud9's not in that list.
Cloud9's is so lame.
Yeah,
No,
Goated.
give me a break.
Goated.
It's so lame.
So iconic.
Bro, it is
But
iconic.
is that, but
like
is
so
that
iconic.
because
It's a
you
bunch of
guys are
nines.
thinking
It's a
bunch of
about
nines.
elements
They're
that
on
C9
Cloud9.
had
It's so good.
in
No.
gaming?
So good, right?
I
Thank
don't-
you.
I don't
Okay,
have
you're
a
on this
single-
wave.
Whoever,
I-
whoever the OG that made that.
I
was
don't
so
have
sick.
almost any affiliation to Cloud9 at all when it comes to any esport outside of like Smash, but that's orgs who sponsor players. Like, who
Overrated
cares?
logo. Some are saying. Some have said that it's overrated.
It's only
It's
Wyatt.
just you.
It's literally
It's just
only
you.
Wyatt.
You know
I can't
why?
reveal my
Usually I
sources.
respect your
You're a
takes on,
Cloud9
and I
hater.
kind of turn to you for this stuff, and you're really like making me just
I don't-
absolutely
I'm gonna say
lose
it.
all credit. You're
You
losing all
used to be
credit.
a Naughty fan, and I think you switched up, and you're a hater
I
now.
didn't switch. I didn't switch.
You don't
up.
like
I
Cloud9.
called him out on that actually.
I didn't switch up.
Ever since you got the whole team on the pod, and now you don't even care about him because
didn't
who
switch up.
cares? We got
Listen,
Naughty, we got
Naughty-
Sauce, we got Chaotic, and now we don't need their interviews anymore. So screw that
Naughty
team. You're a
will
Cloud9
always-
hater.
Naughty will always have a special place in my heart. He always will.
This
I
sounds like you're
just-
about to break up with
No,
him.
hold on.
No,
Listen, you'll always have a special place in my heart.
I'll always
Always.
remember the
It's not-
times
we had
in
a
the
good run.
the memories.
it's not him. It's me. Really, is what it is.
Wyatt did ask
just-
last night. He goes, "If I went up to Naughty, do you think he'd know who I was?"
I don't think you know who I was. I
Why
don't think
you've been
you
having
know.
that? Why has had that problem all day? Like
I don't think
JHawk had to
anybody
literally
remembers
go
who I
over
am.
to Dia and be like, "Hey
Dia's
Dia,
so cool.
I got like Wyatt's over there. He really wants to say
he
hi."
gave me a sticker of Caustic as a cat.
To all the listeners, Dia has been on this podcast before, and Wyatt was nervous to go talk to him.
Out of
Yeah.
curiosity, once or twice? Has Dia been on twice?
I think just
Once.
once.
Okay,
And
it's
he came
Tiff because
on-
you've had
he came
Tiff
on
on
with
like 3
Spider-Twin.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's what I confused because I know you
It
had
was a
Tiff on
dual
with
interview.
like Dia Tiff, and then you had
That
Tiff
was
like
our
2 more
first duel.
times, right?
Yeah, that was our first
Yeah.
interview.
No, Dia's awesome.
Yeah.
Sickest hair in Apex.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, Dia's probably like one of the most approachable
Okay,
people.
hold on.
like,
Yeah.
like one of the nicest
Hear me
guys.
out. Rambo, Wig, Dia. Who you picking for hair?
Rank 'em?
Oh shit!
Rank them in order.
Rank 'em. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Is there any other hairs that I'm missing here? Zach Mazer, maybe.
Don't stop. Stop, dude. Stop.
Listen, as a
That's
fellow
foul.
future balding,
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
I
you
can
could
make these jokes.
tossing
He can
JHawk's
throw them back if he wants.
tossing JHawk's champs cut. You could
I'm gonna
actually.
say-
Greek was loving your beard today. We will shout that
I
out.
put some effort in. You know?
Nice.
Tried to
The
fade it.
lineup.
It does look nice. It does.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna go. I gotta stick with Dia number 1, mostly because he puts it in a lot of different styles, right? And I feel like the other two don't as often have it in different styles.
Wig been
does.
rocking the bun recently.
Wig
a
rocks
lot.
the bun. Then after he's got it down,
He doesn't have it long enough to do like the bun with the party in the back, you
Uh-huh.
know.
Yeah.
But he will eventually.
which is
probably.
crazy because his hair's long.
I'm gonna go Dia, Wig, Rambo.
Actually, he probably could do it if he
Yeah, I
wanted,
think
he
he
just
could.
doesn't.
I'm gonna do that.
Dia,
Dia,
Wig,
Wig, Rambo.
They all have just really luscious
Mass-
locks. It's
awesome-
kind of like it's
awesome
like it's
flow.
there's not a lot of like room between those ranks.
Awesome flow. Speaking of hair, let's talk about E8 a little bit. Let's. I mean,
oh my
we're,
God.
we're
I was
gonna
like,
get.
what is that transition?
We're gonna get more to E8 here in a second in the final block because they went crazy. But consistency, they're just finding consistency. It wasn't like a barn burner point like grab for them in this block, but Zach is putting them in spots. Like that Zach has been doing a good enough job at making sure they're in spots and able to have an opportunity to win. And there was a few yesterday that he probably wants back, or maybe he wanted to act a little bit faster on it so that they could have gotten more points. But I mean, E8 is playing their best, I think.
Yeah, 100%. They won 3 games.
Yeah.
So, considering we've talked about this a bunch, that they didn't win a game throughout the entire Pro League season, I think they're playing great
At the perfect time too.
at the perfect time.
And
At
this-
the perfect time.
And this block, Disguised had probably their best, like.
Which block are we talking about?
This is
Uh,
sorry.
talking
We're
about
still on the
E8
first
was
one.
the last block.
Yeah,
No,
we're-
but
yeah,
they-
yeah.
EA was in
they
the
were
first
also
block
in the
too.
first
They were in the
Yeah, they
first
played
one, too.
twice today.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this Disguise gets 7th place, but I think this was their highest total for Like this looked like they were probably set up to have like a pretty solid, like make it to winners with this. I didn't really get to watch the game, so I can't speak too much on what Disguise looked like, but
They're still having those like banger bust games. Is the problem?
They looked good in this set. It was just what happens in the next one.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah, they even had the Game 6 win here, which
This
is pretty sick. It's just a disguise thing,
that's
but
their
like,
thing.
nonetheless, it's still a great win. I mean, we were talking about E8 briefly. I just wanted to mention, I think, Jay, correct me if I was wrong. Like Zach was telling us about how he realized, like throughout the pro league split, like they had a lot of times that they were in second, they had moments to win, and they just didn't pull it out. So they knew that they were doing what they needed to do to get to those end games, and they just really honestly had to sharpen up like their last final fight, like their final 3v3 fights. And I don't know what they did behind the scenes, but yeah, they're pulling it out at the right time.
Yeah, Shuby. Every time they go to his camera, he looks like the drummer for a death metal band. Just the way the lighting hits his hair.
You know, now
right?
that we
it's
say that, Shuby's
split
up
down
there
the
with
middle.
like some good flow.
Yeah, Shuby. You know what? That's a good call. That's good call.
Yeah.
He's got some flow too.
He does.
We got to add him to that hair list. I think. I don't think he's beating the other ones yet.
Yeah,
but
not
there's
yet, but he
potential
could get there.
You're just
He could
gonna
get
put
there.
Adam just to put him in last.
Well,
That's
there's
crazy.
potential there, right?
I was
He's a
I was
first-round
throwing over
draft
for an
pick.
honorable mention, but White's like, let's absolutely knock him down to that fourth.
But he's a first round draft pick.
True.
It has to grow, right? The hair has to
He's
grow.
a first round draft.
You
It's
know,
good.
he's got to develop a little bit. Any other thoughts before we move into the next block, boys?
I did just want to say on E8 that it didn't happen, but I was expecting a potential invite on this podcast about a week ago to do some predictions because we did that last LAN.
We'll hit that at the end.
And I was
Hit that up now.
it's a little late now because
No, I don't think so.
No, because now this prediction isn't as cool. But I was pretty selling myself on throwing E8 in that top 5.
I still think that's pretty cool.
we would have had the graph and everything, the
I know.
graphic and everything.
I know.
Yeah,
but
I remember
Wyatt-
that.
Wyatt decided not to do it. I guess.
Well,
I
I
don't
still
know.
had to travel, and then I still had to like work and stuff, and you still had to travel.
For top 5, I would have said probably Dark
I would've done it
Zero,
on the plane.
Alliance,
Got Wi-Fi.
Aurora. Yeah,
Going
I was
into
gonna-
the LAN?
No, you go into the LAN. I would
He's
go
literally
exactly
just
like
saying the
this. I would have said. You notice I stopped at 4 and 5 because I couldn't remember who was 4 and 5.
Oh, I was like, dude, you're nailing it.
Yeah,
that would
I
have been
know that
awesome.
has been sick.
That's
Huh?
so sick.
Not
Exactly.
great,
So
on,
sick.
not great on my
I
part.
called
but-
cap on literally anybody who said both Aurora and Alliance top 5. No shot unless you're like an EMEA homer.
Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I hit Aurora on top 3 on the podcast.
I
with
could see
him.
one, but
Yeah.
not both.
No.
because
Yeah.
both would be like. You're
But
an EMEA
Aurora,
homer.
like a lot of people were saying Aurora, the Comp Apex Reddit, they got Aurora in there, I think, at one
did.
point.
They did. Okay, you guys ready to move on into B versus D?
Sure.
I am
All
ready.
right. We are going to hit a quick ad and get into B versus D. Let's get it. Okay.
We're also doing it live, so it's funny.
Oh, we're doing the ad live? No, I love that.
No, we're not. No,
Dude,
we're
I
No,
used to
this
run a
is- this is
podcast
for
and like
the
I would do
audio.
stuff like that. Like,
no,
you
this is
kidding me?
just for the audio.
This
Folks.
is just for the audio. All right.
Also, shout out to people that are in
Shout
Twitch
out to
right
our
now.
sponsor.
Shout out to the
Yeah.
Twitch.
It is
Shout
weird
out
to
to
know we're
them.
live and I can't see chat.
Yeah, it
like
is weird.
it throws me
You
off.
want me to pull it up?
No, we don't have to. I'm just
just
like
go
I like
on,
seeing chat. You know, like shout out chat. I don't know who's there.
Everybody's there. Just picture that. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right. Second block of the day. B versus
know what we're laughing
D.
about.
We had Not Moist as the winner, Reject Winity number 2, Alliance number 3, and Space Station Gaming number 4. Okay, so there's a lot to talk about on this one, but I kind of just want to throw it on down to you guys just like I did on the last one. Jay, overarching number 1 thought that comes to your mind when it comes to B versus D.
This felt like a set that was unsurprising. Like when you look at the top 6, top 5.
Top 5.
It's kind of like all the teams you'd probably expect to come out of this set at the top 5, which felt different than some of the previous sets where there was always like a lot of surprise teams kind of in that mix, like Jumba said with Made in Heaven. Moist, Reject, Alliance, SSG, Liquid. Like if anybody predicted that as your top 5, like literally nobody would have been shocked. So I mean, yeah, it was a pretty cut and dry set. Shout out to Moist; they needed to have a bounce back because they didn't have great sets the yesterday. Well, I think their first one was okay, but their second one was pretty bad. So they came out strong. Same for SSG; they didn't have bad sets yesterday at all, but this felt like their strongest of the 3 so far. Liquid needed a really good one. They had that. So yeah, it kind of felt like the usual suspects showing up when they needed to, and then the other ones kind of continuing that momentum like an alliance. And then other than that, I was just scrolling at the bottom real quick.
Red Rams kind of surprised.
Red
me.
Rams sucked in this one, and DSG did not have a great set.
This was the big story here.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll save this because I guess if you guys want to give your own thoughts, and then we can kind of dive into that because that was a whole ordeal.
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of the same thoughts as Jay. So if we want to you guys want
Just
to
go
say
straight
anything?
into it.
Yeah, you
I
guys
say
talk
you
about
guys
that. I
just go
got
straight
another
into it.
storyline after.
Okay, so let me set the stage real quick. This set is going to be the last for certain teams. DSG is one of those teams where this is their last one. So they've already played. This is their third. So after this, whatever points they get in groups, they're locked and loaded. They're landing North Pad and Thermal. In the first 2 games, they suck. I think they were like, what, 1, 2
1
points?
point.
They were
1
literally-
point.
They're literally
Yeah.
1 point through the first 2 games. And Alliance smells blood in the water and realizes that this is an opportunity because Alliance lands at Thermal Station when DSG's not in the lobby, and they land at North Pad when DSG's not in that lobby and TSM is because they take Lightning Rod. So they realize they can get both those POIs for free in winner's bracket if they can knock out DSG here. So they surprise contest them at Thermal Station, kill them there. Then we go to Storm Point. They don't land directly at North Pad, but they land like over by the Beans and stuff like that in the Trident. And then they try to just ruin their games from there. I think they kill them in that next game. Then DSG decides to go land at Lightning Rod, but Alliance was supposed to contest Red Rams during the set. So then DSG contests them, and that was a whole thing. And that game, DSG still didn't do great.
They kind of just shoot at each other for a bit and leave. They don't
Yeah.
even
I think
contest.
Design got 1 kill on
Yeah.
an exit.
Oh, did they?
Frack. Yeah,
Yeah.
with the
Okay.
sniper. That was the
Okay,
only
yeah,
thing that I
probably.
saw on the kill feed.
And then the final game, DSG goes back to North Pad, and Alliance just kind of follows them around literally the whole game. And then I think they eventually kill Alliance over at Ceto Station and Storm.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
by that point, they were like the furthest team out. TYK was trying to gatekeep them, and TYK let them come back in and reset, but they finally got to zone and they just died. But while that was also happening, SSG realizes that Red Rams is sucking the whole set. So in Game 6, they decide to leave Launchpad and go land at Lightning Rod because Red Rams is contesting them at Climatizer on World's Edge. So they're like, we want to get you out of here. So they kill them. Zainu shoots some bodies.
I saw that. That
Fun
was
all around.
disrespectful, but
Great,
also.
great set, honestly. And it results in DSG going to the losers bracket.
Yeah, Red Rams does make it in, even though it was sick from SSG. They
Yeah.
do make it in. In there, some other crazy stuff happened. The first game of the surprise contest by Alliance. So for some more context, if people aren't aware, Alliance has been flex dropping and then absolutely crushing this tournament. Like, they were doing pretty good. Like, even during this set, I think they qualified for finals during this set. The last set didn't matter at all for them. But that surprise contest happens at Thermal Station. They kill DSG, go on to set the record for the most kills in a single game at LAN with 24 kills. What is that? 36 point game. That's the new record now, and it was a pretty electric game after they start that off with the surprise contest. So,
And the interesting thing about that too was the team that they killed to set the record was the previous record holder.
yes, at the end, yeah,
Liquid.
like
Yeah.
Liquid,
Liquid.
XLG, they set that. Jay Raleigh champs losers bracket round 2. Is that where?
That was a crazy pull.
Wait.
I'm pretty sure
The
it was. I'm pretty
record.
sure it was losers bracket.
I knew it was losers bracket round 2. I was just thinking like,
LG?
yeah,
it was
LG,
definitely-
like
No, not Raleigh. It was Split 1 playoffs, London.
London.
last
Yes, it
year.
was London. I always say Raleigh
It
champs.
was losers bracket.
But it was losers bracket
wasn't
round 2.
Raleigh,
Yeah. I always
Dropped
mix
a
up which one it
little
was.
23 bomb on a lava fissure zone.
Yeah.
Coming from launch site.
Yeah, because Raleigh, they weren't
Shameless
even
plug
there.
made a
like,
video about it.
they-
Shameless plug made a video about it. Go watch it.
Yeah, JHawk did make a video. Yes, that's why I
Shameless
throw it to
plug.
Jay.
Well,
That's why I
it's
throw it to
good.
Jay. I'm
It's
like, I
shameless
know he
plug.
knows
It's
that
nice
one.
to, like,
He
Shameless
knows
plug.
that
We'll
one.
make an Alliance video too.
It's really nice to have a scholar
Yeah.
in the midst, right?
Are you
It is.
you're making the Alliance vid?
Well, it's tough. Well, I don't know. If they like pop off and get like top 5 LAN, I'm 100% gonna make a video about the whole run. But I don't know if I'll make that a separate vid about that specific game. I probably will because usually in the runs I don't do group stage games.
Yeah.
So I might like briefly mention it and then like plug the vid and then put a card in later.
Oh,
Kind of
that'd
deal.
be sick.
So it will be in a video. It's just I don't know if it's going to be separate from the like LAN run video, depending on how they do. Anyway,
Going back to the point you guys just made, this I think is really, really fun. And I think I wish we would see more of this throughout, just like Pro League. We see like little instances here and there, but I think this is what makes the entire aspect of a LAN fun. Having these different things, having all of these things, like why would they do this? And then you come to realize, oh, okay, it's because they have a POI that they're trying to make sure that they can hold throughout the entire tournament. I love when this type of stuff happens, and I know it also leads to a lot of stuff that happens on Twitter and all that kind of stuff. It's just content all the way around.
but here's the thing, because I know we've kind of talked about that proposed rule change of the POI draft thing. This probably wouldn't happen, and I think at first I was kind of in favor of the POI draft thing because I think there's a lot of good things that could come out of it. But like being in a LAN environment and seeing plays like that and having the idea that that won't exist anymore, it would just kind of break my heart. So
Yeah, and that was some of the things that we had talked about one time, and I was like, I'd miss that. I'm sure that other stuff would develop because the fact that like things like this have developed in the first place with probably no one ever considering it would happen when this esport was born. New stuff would develop, but I would miss it. I'd miss it for sure.
Yeah, there's going to be pros and cons to it, and we'll see if that actually goes through. Well, I mean, obviously it's
proposed.
It's proposed.
It's proposed, so we'll see how it goes.
Don't
But
freak out.
But I do love. I'd like to get your guys' thoughts on it as well. I mean, you guys said you really like it, but this is just something that I think we need to have moving forward. Just to have all of the discourse off air, off the stream. This is something that we can talk about and do all that. I think it just makes for great content all the way around. Finn, did you have your point?
No, mine was about Alliance, but that's okay. The Alliance, no, I just thought it was very impressive. They just kept.
Go ahead.
Dude, they just like full send everything, and it was awesome. Like and they won the game, but it was like, it almost looked like the game was on easy mode. Like they were playing like just like a campaign.
Teams hit a flow state.
Dude,
they
did. They hit a flow state. It was pretty impressive. And then my other point was going to be, I think this is also, so not just DSG's biggest game or biggest day, but I think was this Cloud9's highest rank as well? Like,
Well, this was DSG's bad day.
Yeah,
oh, you're right.
DSG's worst.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, but I think this was this C9's like best?
I think so.
I think
With
so
33.
because I know that they're starting in losers tomorrow, but I kind of wanted to talk about Cloud9 and what y'all's expectations going into LAN and seeing them starting now in losers.
Well, Wyatt's a hater of Cloud9.
I'm not.
Former fan of Naughty, but
Some
I
are
think
saying I'm a lover.
Once he got all three of them on the pod and didn't need them for content anymore, he showed his true colors. Just want to put that out there.
You're just doing this because of the Fury.
You literally said their logo was trash, and I think there were ulterior motives behind that statement.
I'm happy they have a logo.
You're saying it's coincidental that you didn't care about their logo until all of a sudden you got all the interviews done.
What do you need? What do you need me to do? You need me to just rock Cloud9
It's one of the most
tomorrow?
iconic logos in esports history.
Oh,
You're hating on
well-
What about the team though? I like the team. You're
Wait.
saying I don't like the team.
The
No,
biggest
I
story
don't
out of
think you
this.
do.
I like the team.
You
I
guys go
haven't heard
ahead.
you talk about him once at this LAN. All of a sudden, you're a Riddle fan.
Yeah, that's it. The biggest story
I
out of
knew
this
you
set.
said this
Bro,
split. You were
he
a
did
that this
complexity
morning.
fan.
No, he did talk about
The-
last night why he was going to do the Riddle thing though.
The biggest story out of this set was Wyatt apparently becoming a Riddle fan. Like
Riddle
he talked
order?
about it last night. All of a sudden he got like a happy face thing, and like this guy's buying merch and
Listen,
like
Doesn't
he's
even know the
waving.
players'
I will say
he's
this.
waving at the.
He's
the-
like I'm not sure like what all probably gets pretty giddy because he likes to hop from bandwagon to bandwagon. He's
True.
He's probably pretty tired, I would say.
But he
as well,
doesn't
so.
pick like the top teams. That's the weird part. Like,
Yeah,
he's
it's
not
more
going like
fun that
DZ
way.
to TSM. He's going from Naughty to Complexity to Riddle. It's a very
the
interesting.
Lanimals.
'Cause
Don't
he
forget
liked
about the
he
Lanimals
liked
run.
their merch.
He
That's
liked-
the reason
yeah,
why.
he liked-
It's literally that.
He
To
likes
be honest,
the team
though-
name. He likes the merch. He likes Monsoon.
To be fair though, like if they pop off after and you're like, yeah, like it's if you bandwagon DZ because you know they're in first and they pop off, like it's weird because you know they're
Yeah.
gonna win. But if you said I'm gonna support Riddle and then Riddle starts popping off, you're just like,
You can support Riddle.
put my
Just
support
know
in them.
that like you're what happened to Cloud9?
Can I
You don't
rank
even talk about them
Dude.
anymore.
Can I rank my
Wow.
bandwagons?
Remember when you were on the pod and he just loved Naughty all the time?
Dude,
I do
he's
love
like
Naughty.
Naughty fan club, and then
You
it did go to
leave-
Phony too.
Yeah,
It went to
leave-
Phony. Don't
Well,
forget Phony.
It's
Phony
true.
was in
It's
there.
true. Just let the record show. He left that fan club, and I'm now the president. Have been for probably longer than
And
you.
I left it
honestly.
in good hands.
Have been longer than you, honestly.
You're
And
not
I
even a
should've been
fan
hands.
anymore.
I should've
I
been
know,
I've never
I
heard.
am a fan of
I
Phony.
have never
Shout
heard
out
you
my
talk
goat,
about
Phony.
Phony. Not even once.
Well, it's just like it's different when they like. What am I gonna say that everybody else hasn't already said?
There's a
about
lot. I
Phony.
feel the only
know?
person I
When
actually hear
Phony-
talk about Phony often is Jay.
That's
so
why
I don't know what
gassed
you
that
mean.
man up like crazy.
everything that
I
what else
gassed
has
that
to
man
say.
up like crazy, and I want all of you to know I'll never stop doing it because nobody gives that guy his flowers. I mean, Wig and Greek actually do. So
I
don't
feel
say
like people
nobody,
do
but
give him his flowers.
Bro, not a single person picked SSG to win any of the sets, and they're like really freaking good.
But they didn't win any of the sets.
They came like second in one.
I'm not
of
gonna
them.
lie. I don't. Are you talking about the talent predictions?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if we could blame Wyatt about those ones.
I'm
though.
not blaming Wyatt.
Did you
Sounds
pick
like
him?
it.
I'm not. I almost
You're
did
like,
one
I'm
of
trying
them,
to get
but
out of
I
this
didn't.
situation as
I
hard
didn't.
as I can.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying y'all can't say this to me when I literally have a talent prediction saying FaZe was gonna win champs. So like I've put in the work.
Yeah. Yeah.
On your podcast,
I don't think
said
anyone
they
was
were my dark
questioning-
horse.
That is true.
I will say I don't
It
think
is-
anyone was questioning Jay's support.
And
Though.
all
I was
I'm
just
gonna
questioning
say
Wyatt.
You
is-
guys were questioning mine.
Nobody knows what
I
my
also-
talent prediction is gonna be come Championship Sunday, but you might see an astronaut logo there.
Yeah, it's,
I haven't
that's
actually
why he
decided,
hasn't done it. He saved it yet.
but I might do
He
it.
saved
So
it.
the
I
riddle
mean, that
thing.
would be such an upset.
would
Sorry.
be.
anyway.
I don't think it would.
He
though.
just does Phony every time.
Don't
He'd be
make,
Phony
don't
at
make me
champs.
go into the spiel, but I don't think it'd be.
Hold
an
on.
upset.
Can we get? Hold on. Can we
I
go
don't think
talk
it'd be
about
upset.
Cloud9?
Yeah, we.
Okay, Cloud9.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about Cloud9.
Okay. Why are you
Going
looking at me?
into no, I was just
because you're the
well,
hater.
so
No, 'cause
so
that
going
would mean I
into
wouldn't talk
going
about
into LAN, they were probably having their best like run of scrims. Like I think that they were probably, I mean, they had their most success the past week and a half before going to LAN, and then they kind of show up. I know first day I saw Sauce say like, "Hey, it's on me." Like, not the greatest calls. I'll be better tomorrow. So I just wanted to see if y'all saw anything. I know it's kind of hard from the like main broadcast. You can't see everything, but I'm staring at the screen. I'm trying to watch like their rotates. I don't know if it was necessarily bad pulls with rings, and that's something that we can also get into is like how zones have been for the majority of this tournament. So, yeah, I just wanted to see if you guys had anything.
I don't know. Cloud9's a tough one for me because, especially when they come in ninth set, like you said, with the main broadcast, it's a little bit hard to keep up
true.
when like they don't get too much screen time. Yeah, I don't know. Jay, you got points?
I think out of every North American team, I probably had the lowest expectations for them. Sauce has never been to a LAN. Chaotic and Naughty haven't been since year 2 champs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So like they didn't go to any LANs last year. They are a new team this split. Nobody expected them to even make LAN. So like I'm saying all this to say like this split has been a huge accomplishment. So like I think they just need time. Like
I would agree on a
They
lot of those
also
points.
just recently added Shiny and Colgin like
It's fair.
Yeah.
halfway through Pro League. So like I don't think this team like you should like anybody should be like, oh, they're gonna break up or anything. Like they've accomplished a lot so far, but at the end of the day, like North America doesn't get all 12 teams in finals, right? And so I think they finished 11th or 12th in Pro League. So like they were one of the
Yeah.
bottom
They were
ones
like- yeah,
anyway.
they were 11th.
Because like
yeah.
coming in out of all the NA teams, pretty much almost every tier list, I felt like people had like them complexity like
In the
They,
same tier.
they do fit
kind
into
of as like the lower seeded NA teams.
They fit into a tier where it's that weird kind of in between with like in that region.
Well,
you
the
know?
reason why is because individually each player is like really talented, really skilled, and has had like success in like separate teams that they've been on. So like it's kind of like you took like 3 really good players that you put together, but like I don't know, it's just like they haven't played enough together yet. I guess even through even with the Pro League they just went through, I feel like it's just like without this LAN experience, without having seen it yet, it's like you don't have enough to go off of to see and judge too much more other than just how they individually performed today. And I agree with Jay. They were a lot of people had low expectations for them here, so them being here is a huge accomplishment. But that's the other thing is like, again, I think I said this earlier today. I think the bottom 4 NA teams are better than most bottom 4 teams of every other region, right? If you take like 8th to 12th versus like 4th to 8th. So like losers bracket, if they go in a losers bracket run and find them way into finals, I also wouldn't be surprised.
They also, Complexity and Cloud9 do have that similar thing where players on those teams had long breaks in between their LANs, right? And I think that's something to keep an eye on. Just because if you haven't gone for a long time and you're trying to get back into the swing of things, there's an adjustment period. And I would feel a lot more confident. Let's say you go into Split 2, they qualify again. I feel more confident moving them up into a different tier because now they have one under their belt recently, and you can kind of look at it. You know, that's jumping way ahead, but you know.
I mean, also out of every NA team, I think collectively they have the least amount of LAN experience.
Yeah.
Like TSM's been a ton, DZ's been a ton. Like even some of the lower seeded NA teams, Oxygen, like they went to
Champs.
They went to Champs and Split 2 playoffs. So and like if you count them all together, then that's like technically 6 LANs across them. You know, to where like Naughty's been a 2, Chaotic's been a 1, so that's like 3. You know. Even like LG, like 2 of the members haven't even been, but Sweet's been to all of them. So like him alone has more LAN experience than the whole team. So
That's good.
You know.
That's good points. Okay, I wanted to talk about BR Demons before we leave.
All right.
Or before we go to the next. This team was something that was a team that me and Wyatt were pretty stoked about after watching for the first day. Kind of a sleeper pick, maybe. I don't know if y'all felt like it was a sleeper pick, but I didn't know even anything about this team at all. And then they show up yesterday. They were doing pretty well and pretty aggressive and winning a lot of fights against good teams. And then today, maybe not the greatest, but still kind of showcased some talent, I think.
So this is BR Demons and Brazilian Demons, not to be confused with like the old OXG BR Demons,
Correct.
right? But no, I mean, they at the first 2 weeks of scrims, they were surprising me, especially South America ping differences. They were performing really well, like they were placing well even in some of the sets, if I remember correctly. But obviously the scrims they got here, like we can see with this set, like. What do they have there? 26 points, but they placed first. So like, and I think they won the first game. So I was like, oh my god, love to see BR Demons winning first game. Like like SA getting that because of everything that they don't even have like their own pro league anymore. So I love that. But then that was kind of like the biggest chunk of their points. They proceeded not to like really get too much more. So they know how to win, but I don't think they know how to get those consistent 8 to 10 points after that you need to get.
I mean. So backstory on this team, Artin, he's from Singularity. They were the best team in South America for like years. So he's been to a bunch of LANs. Vlato comes from ATH, who went to Split 2 playoffs, so LAN experience. And then Azazel, he comes from NorCal, also went to Split 1 playoffs. So they all have LAN experience. I've heard that they're all like R5 demons and that they grind it like a ton.
Reloaded, right?
Yeah. I think Zeros had said that on stream, and so he's like, I think they can make finals because they grind. I definitely think a lot of people were picking them as kind of like a dark horse pick that could make some noise because they were doing really good in scrims. But it wasn't just this set, because this set was okay, because the first set they killed it. They got like 50
that's why
points.
we were like, whoa, this seems crazy.
The problem was then the last set of the day, they got 16. Like, they placed 18th. They got 16 points, 10 kills total. 6 was their best placement. So, like, they were hot garbage in the last set of the day yesterday. And this set was just okay when they needed to be, like, really good. So,
replicate, that first one.
So they're going into the losers bracket. But like I said, like, even Artin on Singularity, like, they've made finals lobbies. He's made finals lobbies before. So like, I'm not counting
one of the only South American teams to make a finals.
Them,
it's literally
Start a
Singularity
Fight.
and Start a Fight.
Yeah, there's not been very many.
Elevate back in the day, no?
No, they.
I thought
they made it that huge game. Did they?
Yeah,
make
that
finals?
because then they actually won a game in finals too.
Okay, so
Elevate,
there's been
Singularity.
It's my fault.
No, yeah, it is your fault.
I was trying to think if that
baby.
game was losers round 1 or 2.
I'm pretty sure that
I
big
think it was
comeback.
2, right?
It was lose round 2. They make
Okay.
if you guys don't know about this, it's like they make like a 20-point comeback from 20th to 10th. And the reason why they're so happy, and they have like one of the best pop-offs I've ever seen in LAN history. If you haven't seen it, stand up, do like a whole dance. They have it all coordinated and everything like that. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's so good. They go from 20th to 10th, get into finals. Actually managed to win a game on finals, and that's the first LAN that was back though. Split 2 playoffs, Sweden. That one there. Yeah, that Sleep was on that team. Sleepola, who's then made champs finals last year.
With starter
Dude,
fight.
with starter fight, dude's got a good track record of making finals lobbies at champs.
Yeah, no, they've been really impressive, and obviously, like we said, they're going to losers. But that first set, like if that's how they can play going in tomorrow, then they're going to be a problem. They can definitely be a problem. Make a run through losers. Any last thing on B versus D, or do you guys want to finish it off with this last block?
I think popped the last block, the really exciting one.
Yeah, let's
And then
do
maybe
it.
like go over just who qualled, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit a quick ad and then we will get into it. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Whopper. Sorry, that was the ad.
That was the
I
ad.
was gonna say, why don't you pitch the ads to the stream, eh? I want to hear. You gotta at least after the stream, you gotta tell me who the ads are. I watch
just
on
click-
YouTube all the time.
I just click in there and then it just puts it in there and it'll be random.
Oh,
ones.
it does it for you? Is that
Yeah.
with?
Is Spreaker?
For Spreaker, yeah.
Bro,
Spreaker?
I want you to
I
know,
used to-
I hate those freaking ads.
Dude,
It's
sometimes they'll be
I-
so
loud.
random.
And loud, too.
Chumba Casino.
Chumba
Chumba
Casino.
Casino.
Chumba Casino. It's Ryan Seacrest is the host of the commercial.
Oh, he's great.
And they show up. They
Why,
show
it's
up
like
on every single ad break that you do.
yeah.
Why it's like I got
I
Ryan
apologize.
Seacrest.
I don't
And they're
think
so
it's-
corny because he's like, I was just on an airplane and I was playing Chumba Casino on my phone. Guess what? I look over to the guy next to me. Guess what he's doing? Chumba Casino too. And it's like, shut up.
No one is doing that.
You didn't even go on an airplane.
Yeah.
That Chumba Casino is really throwing me out of the sick.
Casino.
Yeah, that might be mine.
There
Chumba
you go.
Casino.
There you go.
I own crypto
Nice,
coin
dude.
casinos now.
And they're
The,
doing
the
it on
listeners
airplanes.
know.
They're doing it on
There's
airplanes.
listeners right now.
They
that are like,
understand.
I get that.
Yeah.
Screw
if
Chumba.
I could choose them, I
Screw
would.
Seacrest.
I would choose them. I just can't choose them. That's on me.
Well, you
And-
can start
be like
start
Jersey.
shooting out some emails. Battle
Yeah,
Beavers
I'll
at the
probably-
event, you know.
Yeah, I'll have to start doing that. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, ladies and gents, last set of the day, A versus C. This was by far the most exciting, I would say, out of the entire 2 days so far, just because of all the craziness that went down. Dark Zero is your winner by a fucking landslide. They had 121 points. Second place had 64. That was E8. Third place was Fnatic with 48, and then Furia was fourth with 43. We got to start off with Dark Zero here. They end the day with 3 straight wins. 121 points in the day. They were insane.
Is there like where does the tagline start? 121 points, most points in a series in a series for anything, even 8-game series. Energy.
That's gross.
Yeah,
by the way. That
Energy
is
did.
disgusting.
Yeah, crazy. Energy did 121 in 8 games. DZ just did that
In 6.
in 6. They went third, second, first for the set. 61 placement points, 60 kills overall. What am I forgetting here? So
I think the closest kills
record
behind
there.
them was, what, 38? Something like that?
25.
25.
25 in this set. Yeah,
Way lower.
By,
No,
oh, no,
38.
sorry, 38.
Okay,
I just looked at
38.
second place. You're right, 38.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing, too, was, like, at E8 had an awesome performance, and you're like, dude, 64 points is decent. And then, but then
What
you
was
look,
I-
And it's 121.
64 points gets you first, I think, in almost every set except for this one.
Yeah.
And in the other one, the Dark Zero dropped like 70-something points. Funny enough, it would have got them third there because Virtus Pro also
Also
dropped
got
70.
70. Yeah,
So,
they're
like,
pretty good,
yeah,
too.
that was another one where I saw Virtus Pro. I'm like, VP, 70 points. I'm like, they don't even get first because DZ's just out here doing DZ things. But still, yeah, 64 typically gets you first. But here it got them almost less than half of first.
They're just so good. They're just so good. They're so locked. They're killing everything. They don't even look like they're having fun up there. Like they don't.
No,
they're
they
not
look like
excited.
they're having
They're
a
having
ton
a
of
great
fun.
time.
Are you kidding
They're
me?
just-
Have
they
you
don't
seen
look
their
excited
pop-offs?
to me.
They look so freaking
Maybe
excited.
I just don't look
Zero
up there.
popping
But
off.
Zero like popped
Zero was
off
pissed.
every single
I say
time.
Pissed. He was emotionally awesome. Like,
Yeah, but I think he is pissed. I think he's pissed of all the discourse after last champs not making it.
That's true.
So yeah, 100%. I think he's
they
pissed.
do have something to prove. That
Well,
there
yeah.
is no.
I will say,
doubt about
because
that.
I talked to their player manager that he was like, it's just groups. We killed it in groups last year too.
Yeah.
Champs. So
And I same thing. I
Same
talked to.
I mean, obviously this is like an insane performance. I'm not trying to
Yeah.
diminish it, but you know, DZ cannot fall asleep at the wheel here like they did at champs.
No.
'Cause They had 170 something points at champs and were first in groups, and then proceeded to fall out in losers.
And yeah, I was funny enough. I was talking to him too, and like the exact same thing. Like, so we're like, tomorrow's what really matters. Like, it really does. So, but it's almost hard to imagine a world where they don't go through tomorrow.
I was gonna say, do we have the conversation of just like what happens, like the big what if?
Well,
Yeah,
did
I
you want to say
tweeted
your
that.
tweet?
Yeah,
Your
I
tweet,
tweeted it out.
like
I
If
said, is it-
they don't make finals, they will become the new group stage team. I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
There's no shot you put up 250 group stage points and don't make finals and
Yeah.
don't steal that title. 2 lands in a row where you place first in groups.
first in groups.
and then don't make finals, which
Yes.
is not going to happen. They're gonna make
JHawk said it
finals.
now.
But I like if they don't make finals, I'll tweet it. I'll call them the group stage team.
Yeah.
Alliance has lost the crown.
which is crazy because
here's the thing,
Alliance
though.
still. I mean,
Alliance is a group stage team, but at least they made it to the finals.
they did make it to
right?
finals. They got
So-
like 16th or 17th, so at least they made
So
it.
if DZ was to miss it twice, then yeah. But no, they're gonna make it to the finals. They're gonna crush it.
One of the biggest things. Okay, I'm gonna say the tweet and then I'll get into my point. But if DZ doesn't win this event, is this the best team to not win a LAN? And because right now their form is incredible.
Yeah.
I would say so. I mean, like, what are the only other rivals? Somebody was talking about like they added Furia. Like Furia wasn't
No.
doing this though.
That team
Furia-
also was like an LCQ team that just like all of a sudden showed up and just killed everything. But like that was somewhat more related to like the comp stuff.
Comp diff, yeah. Comp diff was huge there. And then like maybe someone who puts too much into intangibles. I say this often, but you know, when you start getting like we were talking about, like a flow, when you start getting momentum, they took them to finals, and they just. But I think the comp diff was the biggest thing if you want to just look at the reality of it. The rivalry, well, like to not win a LAN, yeah, that's it. I don't know. The only next one would be like what Blackhand did, but it's another one that I think just got like a lot of momentum and really rode it. And we're
Oh, hold up. Why Blackhand? Optic.
oh yeah, and Optic. I forgot
Yeah,
about Optic.
Yeah,
Yeah, true.
Wow, okay.
Currently, Optic is the best team to not win a LAN.
Yeah,
to me.
true. Somehow that
So,
slipped.
But if DZ, the tough part is DZ has one, but this current iteration, yeah, I would say 100%.
I just have
Yeah.
a weird feeling.
No, dude, there's
A
no
But
way.
weird
also
feeling.
my
A weird
feelings are
feeling of
never
what?
No, it's absolutely, dude. DZ is definitely making. First
Because-
off,
no, here's-
Oh, but was the question not qual or not like not qual or
I
not
was
win?
saying
Not
if
win.
If
I
they
was
don't
saying
win.
win.
I have a weird feeling they don't win.
winning's a whole different story because that's like match point. You
Right,
Get, like,
yeah,
it's
there's-
Yeah.
that lobby, which like if the tough part is like I don't think they deserve that kind of title if they get like second or third or something like that.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
With 121
I think
points.
he's saying that
Yeah.
kind of a title if they like choke like bad, but
Yeah.
But to I don't know because you said that it was about winning and not qualling. But on the not qualling thing, like they know what happened at champs. Like that was a wake up call. They're not gonna like do that again.
Right,
in
that's
the
what I was
practices.
thinking
They're
too.
gonna
And-
handle their business.
100%. I was saying the same thing. Yeah. It's they don't forget that.
Yeah.
Bro, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Zero's been on a tear, even like for streaming, and had been like VOD reviewing, doing everything like more publicly of like showcasing, like, hey, dude, I like kind of showcasing that he really does want it, like more than.
He's always done that stuff privately. I've heard by a
I knew
lot
he
of
did it
people.
privately,
Yeah.
but more so, I feel like he was trying to showcase like
I think he's just coming out of his shell. I think he just likes to stream now.
maybe that is maybe
I
that's
think
it.
he also too. I also heard like internet issues. He lived in Australia for a long time. He just like and he could not stream because of internet issues.
That's fair.
That's what I heard. But-
Their micro and macro rotations were phenomenal. Pretty much right
The
whenever,
fights, bully ball.
like, dude, I don't know if it's just they are utilizing the UAV scans super well, and then just like from that information, just absolutely, they're finding the light side of the, for the most part that I had noticed, they were finding the light side of the zone, and then just like waiting for a fight to happen in Godspot, third partying, winning that, and then like as they have their back cleared, they'll just like continue to keep moving and have somebody anchor, and then they got more kills, and then they just win the fight, and then they just keep snowballing. I don't know. What did you guys see anything that you were like, okay, that seems to be? Obviously they were all in flow state, but was there anything in particular when it comes to like macro, micro, team fights, anything else that could go with that? That was making that difference of them, their worst placing being third place. Like, are you serious?
It's crazy.
I know it was
What?
ridiculous. I want to go back and definitely watch him with a little bit more attention. I think I kept seeing that they were in like the position. I'm like, oh, they're gonna win this one too.
Dude,
so I start
know.
preparing
I
tweets. I
dude,
start preparing tweets.
I would look at the map and I'm like, oh my.
Yeah, I'm like,
gosh.
okay, they're gonna win. Like, I don't need to see them right now. So I start preparing the tweet. Like DZ, like this many. Like we had Burke. I'm like, Burke, how many points? Do the math for me. What I want to ask you guys, like, what are your takes on Sykes? Because I've been saying kind of for a bit here. I think Sykes is one of the most underrated players in the scene. Like he went first, second, and first in Pro League last year, and now they're doing this in group stages here. And I know that like he's been on like really good teams with that, but we saw XSET not perform as well this year, and I'm not saying Sykes was the absolute difference maker. I've heard of a lot of things going on season 20 changes, but nonetheless, Sykes has succeeded quite a bit over the last year and a half. So I'd love to hear like your individual takes on Sykes specifically.
I feel like that's a loaded question, but I would say that I know that there was some.
I'm just talking about like gameplay.
Right.
Like, yeah.
But I think that it leads into it. But I think there was like potentially out of game type of stuff that was potentially hurting their in game type of stuff. Whenever it comes to just like their cohesion in team fights. So like I think Sykes is comfortable. Like I think he's comfortable in what he's doing. He doesn't have to make crazy plays. I don't think he's the guy that has to, for that team to like go out and make a crazy play. I mean, it was a meme that he was a Caustic player, like, and now he actually really is playing Caustic and doing it pretty well. So seeing him kind of fit that role of like, hey, I can just go out and be consistent and do whatever I need to do and like fill the gaps of whatever that you need to do. And I don't know if he necessarily was having to do that on XSET, even though they had a ton of success. I think that maybe either they didn't find form in like with a lot of the changes and like maybe there's some turmoil outside of the game, therefore made it to where now he has a lot of faith in whatever Zero's calling, whatever Jin's saying whenever they're coming to fights or whatever. And like I think he's just comfortable. He doesn't have any type of I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
I think he just doesn't have to do anything overextended. Like, I don't know. That being said, I did see him throw an ulti on LG and then saw 3 different numbers hitting 3 different people in wide swung and got clipped. And then I was like, oh no. So DZ didn't win that game. But they got second place.
Yeah, they only got second.
Yeah, my bad. But I did think that was the only thing that I saw. I was like, oh my gosh, he was overheating. So, but
What do you think, Jay?
What do you think?
I think you have to be a good player to be on good teams, and I don't think it's a fluke to be on that many good teams in a row. I think you bring something pretty important to the table if you are like that. And with the whole XSET thing, I know people don't want to go there, but I think you kind of have to. Like, I know that there's stuff outside of the game that happened, but I think there's a lot of different teams that had things happen outside the game. There's a lot of different and everybody had to deal with the season 20 changes, not just one team. So you look at how they placed and how it ended for them, and then you look at his success over here. I mean, he's got to be a pretty decent part of it. Maybe not the whole damn thing, maybe not even half of the thing, but a pretty decent part of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about him, and I would lean your way with him being really underrated, because you hear the names Zero and Jen all the time, and you see the clips of Zero yelling at Sykes and trying to ring him back in, make sure he doesn't do what you just said, like some of those plays, and he's gonna have some of those, but I don't think you can be on this many good runs and not be a player that's very sought after and very good.
Yeah, I'd say underrated too, because of the fact, and Jay and I were talking about this the other night, but it's because even when like XSET was doing really good, he was always in like top 5 like roller player conversations, but like the chatter has never been like Sykes is goated, Sykes is the guy, or anything like that. You've always heard that about like Jen and Verhulst, and then you heard about Coy, and there's been Effect, and like Guild was up there, and I don't think that chatter was ever around Sykes too hard. So
he could just have that glue guy factor that Rep seems to have too.
Yeah, like
because Dude, sometimes I think the answer is just the easy one that's right in front of you. We saw what happened with Exet, and it's like they replaced him with Koifel, who's no slouch, but it just didn't work. And there's a lot of different factors going into it, obviously, but like there's got to be something he's bringing to whatever team that he's on that allows them to be as successful as they're being, I guess, is my point. That's how I feel.
Jay?
What do you think, Jay?
I've always felt like Sykes was like the borderline top 5. Like either he's like 5th, 4th, or he's like 6th, 7th, like kind of in that range. There was that point probably like around champs when it felt like his and Guild's stock fell really low. Like nobody really liked him anymore because they both hadn't done well, the teams didn't do as good, which I felt like is more results based analysis about them. But now they're like killing it and everybody's putting them back in the top 5s. But remember, like Split 1 last year, like NRG places 2nd, Exet places 4th, and everybody's like, and like Sykes and Guild are like, you know, it was like Verhulst, Tal, Jen Burton, Sykes, Guild. And like Effect was kind of being thrown in there, but because he didn't get to show up to LAN, nobody was like truly putting him in that spot. But that was kind of like what everybody was saying for the rollers. So, yeah, I've always felt like he was really good. In my Exit video that I made a long time ago, I felt like his comms were like really clean, that I don't think he gets a lot of credit for. He was able to like both call plays and effectively like open up fights as a fragger. And I think that one thing that a lot of people have given credit to Verhulst and Jen Burton for, but I don't think anybody has given credit to Sykes for, is he went from fragger to anchor, which I think that transition is what you're talking about how he feels comfortable. Because I do think that like when everybody started adding controller players, it was like you're the fragger because you play controller. And on Exet, that's what it was. Like you're the fragger because you have aim assist. But on DZ, they have Jen Burton, who's done both.
Yeah.
And so with Zero being the Bloodhound, who's your fragger because there is no aim assist through smoke anyway, then Jen Burton's going to play the bang, and they frontline. So now Sykes is the caustic, which, like I said, was a meme, but is now cool. And I actually mentioned that to Sykes today. I saw him.
What did he say?
We shared a giggle.
He's like, dude, how did I get here? Like, what? He's like, it was a joke. Now it's
shared
for
a
real.
giggle.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it. I think that transition is really cool to see from him. I think that I got to talk to Jen and Zero about it because on the Uber ride from the airport, I was with Jen and we were talking about Sykes playing caustic, and I mentioned how like that used to be a meme and all that stuff. And he was saying that the team kind of goes as he goes. Like even though they're the frontliners, like if he is feeling it and he's having a great day, like he can be the best caustic in the world and they can win a lot. And if he's not feeling it and he's doing bad, then he can be terrible and he can throw a lot, and then the team's going to have a tough day because then Zero might get mad or they have to kind of like compensate for some of these things or what have you. But as we've seen on the split so far, he's having a lot of really good days.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Sykes is really good.
Yeah, no, it's like, I mean,
And I will
121.
say to even prove this point further, because some people are like, you're only saying this because DZ did really good right now. Shout out to Privacy, their analyst, because he did a stream like 3 months ago and was talking about top 5 rollers at the time. It was like during the midst of Pro League. And obviously everybody in there was saying, because there are a lot of DZ fans, was saying Jen and Sykes. And I think I didn't have Sykes in top 5, but I said he was 6th. And it was like between him and I think I put Zainu 5th. Yeah.
Well, I just want to throw it out there that JHawk's also friends with you guys. So, like, he's saying all these nice things because he's friends with them.
Oh, wait,
I'll be critical.
No, of course.
The tough part about being critical with DZ is like they're kicking ass. So, like,
No.
Yeah.
I'm obviously just busting his
And like
balls.
y'all,
I asked for your opinions because of the fact that I agree completely on that, and I know people. I've said that to you before, like randomly.
I know.
So this whole block can be just boiled down to Dark Zero, and we don't really have to go through too much more of it because we just went forever.
LG
on
was
Dark
having
Zero.
like a really having their best, like having a rebound day.
You guys want to talk about the LG thing?
Oh, we
You
talked
guys
about
want-
it about
we
it a
talked
little
about
bit
it a lot
last
yesterday,
night,
but I would like to get your opinion. on
Yeah,
it.
we can. This will be a fun discussion because I think this could be fun.
What do you think? You're giving me a
Jumba,
weird
you go
look.
first.
Wait.
No,
Help me with the.
You led first.
I'll talk about it, but you go first.
Go. Just tell me about LG? What do you want to know?
So,
What
do
is
we want to
give me
first
some
talk about like
preface.
I mean,
I mean,
we
they
don't
had
even
their
have
best
to talk.
set,
No, we
but,
don't
like,
have to
they-
talk about.
Yeah,
it.
we're talking about the set,
But
like, that's what I'm
did,
trying to, like, I
they
wanna
did
give me-
return. They did have for them based off the land. They actually had a pretty good set, even though it's not great. But okay,
Yeah.
continuing on. You go first.
Go for, but like, give me like what is the exact question about LG
So
you want to
basically,
know?
like,
going on?
what's going wrong right now? Like, what
I
do you
mean,
think is the reason
they're-
why?
They
They
don't.
finished 35th in groups.
Yeah,
Like
Oh my
they're
gosh.
literally bottom 6.
there's
The other teams are Tom Young Kung and APAC South team. That's actually surprising. MDY White, North Epsilon, Brittle Order never change. A bunch of APAC teams, and Luminosity Gaming.
someone threw out cohesion. There's not a lot of whole lot of that going on. I don't think. I think I can't tell that their players are on the same page. In 3v3 fights, I've noticed very often that one person's not where the other two are, and not even fighting. Sometimes I've noticed in a couple clips, which has caused them to just completely die and lose fights that they should win, or they are winning too. On top of it, I mean, yeah. And then after there was that, like, coming into today, me and Jay noticed that Sweet had 8 kills and about like 8,000 damage, and both Funk and Slayer, your roller players, had 4 kills each and 3,500 damage. So like your MK IGLs out damaging
Just
them.
to update that. Slayer currently 5,400. Okay. Funk currently 7,500. So that's like what, 13,000 combined in terms of damage. And Funk has 7 kills. Slayer has 7 as well. Sweet has 11 kills, 12,000 damage.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
like he
dude,
alone
that's
has
not good.
almost the same amount of damage and kills as his 2 rollers combined.
But yeah, and then like
Which there is an experience difference.
I was
It's been every
gonna-
land
Yeah.
they've never been. So.
I was gonna say the last thing is, like, obviously these two guys are new to LAN and everything like that. Sweet's been here, he's done it before, but I think they are good players, and I think there might be a chemistry issue that everyone knows kind of is going on. The chemistry issue, yeah, the big elephant in the room.
Imagine if they just win this whole thing.
They could.
This is the start of the championship.
Maybe
PvP.
something will just snap in tonight. You know, I think any team could at any point just somehow turn it on. That's the
Yeah.
way I am.
It's not a
but
talent thing.
but-
We can set that straight. Like, it's
Yeah.
not a talent thing. Like,
They've
these-
got it.
no, Funk dropped. I can't remember if it was like day 1 or day 2, but Funk dropped like 15 kills or 16 kills, and they had a 30-point game, right? Like, these guys can
in Pro League.
In
Yeah,
Pro
Pro
League.
League,
He's
yeah,
talking
Pro
Pro
League.
League. He's not
Pro
talking
League,
about-
yeah, Pro League,
no,
Pro
you're
League,
good,
Pro
you're
League.
good,
Sorry,
you're good.
but like, regardless of the fact, like, even though Pro League, NA Pro League, like, they can frag out, they can drop a lot of points. I don't think it's a talent thing. There's definitely like it seems a personnel issue between the players, and that happens sometimes. But
I would like Jay to go, and then
I would
I'll
like Jay to go.
I will, because we
I
kind
just
of talked
think-
a little bit last night.
Listen, we came into this land and his Watson made a tweet about it of
Yeah.
like, I would not want to be Slayer right now.
Yeah.
And it's like the fact that everybody's like
that was
saying
before
that.
LAN.
He said
No,
that
he
like
said it-
during day 1.
Yeah.
But like everybody
said it
was
today.
No.
Oh, was
No,
it yesterday?
I did see that.
Oh,
on
He
okay.
said
Twitter.
it day 1,
Yeah.
and Hodzik said it
Yeah,
either
yeah.
this morning or last night on the broadcast, like literally on the desk. He was like, I wouldn't want to be Slayer sitting next to Sweet right now. And the fact that we're
my
all like
God.
saying that as somewhat of a joke, but also like completely seriously, like I feel like you just somewhat doomed your team to fail. Like, how much
I
pressure
agree.
do you think
Dude,
Slayer
I-
came into this land feeling
Dude, and
when
it's
he
his
gets
first one.
blamed for almost everything, even when some of them are definitely not his fault? Because I have done some VOD review things, and like, you know, Sweet's also like, he's been every LAN. He's had a lot of like high performances, and so, and he's also a, you know, hard IGL. He's not the kind of person that's gonna coddle you. Like I've heard even in wins, like he's out there like saying some stuff to his teammates about how they need to be doing better. So and he's saying it harsher than I am currently saying it. So imagine what happens when you're not doing good. Like Funk is their fragger, and him only having 7,500 damage and like 8 kills or whatever the number I said was, or like 7, is like, that's just not good enough. Like, you're a roller, like you got to be doing better, because I think he's the one playing Bloodhound on their team, so he's got to be doing better. Slayer's obviously not doing great, and you know, it's been pointed out that he's kind of dying first a lot, which isn't great when you're supposed to be like the support and anchor player. And then it probably only gets worse when Sweet's like, you know, kind of yelling his head off at you, or what? I don't actually know if he's yelling because
No,
yeah,
he
he
has. I've
definitely
had
is, 'cause
people
we've
literally
heard that.
text me and be like, "Are you hearing these sweet Slayer comms?" And I'm like, "No, I can't hear comms out here." And they're like, "It's like a fest of like Slayer WTF." But then apparently even Slayer's like at the point where he's like, "You got to be effing kidding me! Like I'm not like almost fighting
It's
back
just
right
not
now."
good.
And like
Well,
that's not
it's-
gonna
at
happen.
At some point,
And,
you're
like,
going to fight back. 'Cause
yeah,
if
when you
feel-
get scapegoated
especially
that
if you feel
often,
like,
right?
Like here's
been
the
there.
thing.
I've been there. I've been the scapegoat. I've been the Gibby player. Whenever Gibby was like the
I
most
just-
important person,
yeah.
and then you just get caught out, and then it's like, hey, it's your fault. The reason why we didn't have a bubble there and we died. It's like, well, hey, dude, like I'm also 8,000 pounds and trying to run around and trying to rotate that you're telling me to. Anyway, and then you get scapegoated because it's like you're playing a very key like legend, which I want to get into that later. I'm gonna let you. I want you to finish, but.
I just encourage people to put themselves in Slayer's shoes, and it's like, okay, how are it's your first like tier 1 team and IGL that you're playing with, and it's your first ever time on LAN, and like how are you? And coming in, everybody is saying, if you do bad, you will be dropped.
Every
Yeah.
single day.
And every single mistake that you have, everyone memes you and makes fun of you for it, and your IGL rails you for it. Even if it really wasn't like actually the reason that the team died. Like there's times where like Slayer is getting blamed as
Oh my
Sweet is like a knockdown shield, and I'm like, well, how about you just don't go down first? So like there are, or there's times where like
And
Funk
that-
makes
that
a
did happen
mistake,
today.
and I will say on Funk too, just to because to throw blame equally across the whole team, because I do want to be clear, Slayer does throw sometimes. Like I'm not saying he's perfect, but so does Sweet, so does Funk. There's also kind of a lack of accountability from what I kind of noticed in scrims, where sometimes Funk gets a little defensive and he'll throw it back at somebody else, which is like people do that, like he's a young kid too. So I just feel like the environment's kind of chalked. Like how can you come into a LAN and perform when literally everybody's going to take it and get dropped? And then Koifel tweets out that he's a free agent, and everybody's like, well, LG Koifel,
See ya, bro.
yeah. And then it's just like, what are you supposed to do? It feels like what is it called, like confirmation bias, where like you're trying to prove that you're right, of like Slayer is the problem, so
Yeah.
And you can kind of like almost just get people to believe it just by saying it enough times.
like esports GG on Twitter posted a picture of a dude's hat from LAN, and
saw that.
it's Luminosity Gaming in a Twitch chat saying, how is that Slayer's fault? It's like memeing on him, and Sweet responded to it because the post said a fan, and Sweet said, that's not a fan, that's a homie, and tagged the guy, or that's a brother or something. So it's like someone who he's friends with, and so it's like even Sweet's friends are like clowning you. So it felt like the writing is on the wall, and now
so
they're doing
bad.
terrible, and I'm not surprised because the vibes are probably chalked. Like once I saw them doing bad in the games, I was like, it's probably only going to go downhill.
There was a moment on the broadcast yesterday. They went on to a listen-in with LG
This is
as
what
they
I
were
wanted to talk
fighting.
about.
This is what
yeah,
we're talking
This is what we
about
talked about.
Okay,
and
like,
I want to get into it.
So tell me if I get the whole situation right, because like I didn't even fully catch it, but it was like it's LG versus Dark Zero.
Correct.
They get into a listen-in. Sweet is downed. Funk and Slayer are fighting. Slayer is a little bit off to the side. Funk goes down. Slayer's trying to now clutch out. Sweet's kind of throwing comms out there at him, like, Slayer, where
It
are you?
wasn't
Slayer,
just
where are
comms.
you?
Dude, we
Like,
talked about
it
how
was-
it's
yeah.
so dehumanizing.
Yeah,
it was
he's
like
like-
the
like,
worst
who-
type of calm. The
Yeah.
calm was literally like.
we
So
can't
they-
keep leaving him alone.
No,
like,
no, it was
or something
Sweet-
like that, bro. It was-
Sweet's talking to Funk, and he basically says something along the line. He's like, "Dude, he does this every fucking time." It wasn't that verbatim, but it was basically that. And it's just like, if you're Slayer and they're talking about you,
he wasn't even
pretending
dead.
like
He wasn't
you're
even
not
dead,
in the
bro.
room.
They-
Yeah,
Like,
no,
well,
but
like,
but
what do
Sweet
you
was
s-
down. It was the funny part of it all. It was like
Well,
Slayer was last alive.
he was
Yeah.
He was trying to
Yeah,
1v2,
He's-
and
he
like
was
Yeah,
still
this is
playing
happening.
as the calm
Yeah.
comes through.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
the comms are going
oh,
on, and he's like,
yikes.
and he just keeps saying like, Slayer, where are you? And then after they die finally, and like Sweet goes to say something, and I think they're on a delay back there. I heard like they have like a 30-second delay for the live stream that they do what's live, and or like in the stadium,
Right.
and like that shit got X'd right away. That no comms, and then
Yeah,
the
like-
casters carried away. They're like, oh, the Slayer, what are you doing? Like the
But,
casters,
like,
they threw it up
on
live.
that, like casters
Like,
saying it, Hot Six.
there
saying
you
it
go.
on the
Like,
desk,
everyone's making a
Watson's
joke. Like, it's
tweeting
all over the
to
broadcast.
bring it to like traditional sports. Like it's becoming a distraction to the team. And it has,
100%.
like, it has to probably.
It
help
has to probably go.
regardless of whether it truly is his fault or not. It's become such a big thing to blame him and to meme on it that it's like. It just there's gonna be a roster change, and like
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen. And I think that's best for both parties.
And I actually think he handled a lot of the pressure
Yeah, I do wanna-
quite well. Like,
I do want to shout out to Slayer because I feel like
with all that,
after all the stuff about Guild with that whole thing, like it felt like there was, and everybody was putting Slayer in that spot. He, the first, like all throughout all Pro League, I felt like handled it really well. Like he memes about it on Twitter, and he's like tweeting stuff about like I can handle this, like I want you to IGL me hard and all that kind of stuff. But at some point, like it feels like the writing's on the wall. Like what should we really do here? Like
Yeah.
if Sweet is talking to Funk about Slayer as if Slayer's not even on the mic. Like,
yeah, I made the thing yesterday. Like,
and if he's
like,
throwing that hard, then like why he's on the team? Like you should drop him if you really think he's that bad.
Yeah, and that's like I was telling Finn yesterday on the pod that there's comms where it would like evoke you to be angry, right? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Fuck you, I'm doing this, right? That like there are comms that happen like
the
that.
bounce back, like
If
the
I
bite
hear
back.
that calm though, that doesn't make me angry. That just makes me just
The
wanna
one that was actually said,
disassociate.
like the one that was
yeah,
said.
the
right.
one that he actually said, like that I don't even want to get angry. I just want to disassociate. I just don't want to be
no,
on the
I see what
stage
you're
and
saying. Like, you almost want to like stay quiet and just sit there and
just
just
sit
like,
there and just be like,
just almost
"Alright."
like, yeah,
just like
you know,
exists.
but,
That's
like
it.
let
Yeah.
me just finish this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have to go into it more because I already talked about it yesterday. But basically, what you guys said is. How
And one of the things is that specific fight.
Yeah.
First off, I don't even think that is on Slayer.
No, like, I
think
agree.
that was a lot on their positioning. They didn't take height. 8 times out of 10, you win if you have height.
Was
on
this
the,
in train?
Yeah, it was
yeah,
on the
in
train. If you-
right?
if you're on-
Slayer was on height, funny enough. Like,
that's what I'm
Slayer was
saying.
the
Like,
only one sitting on
if
top
they're
of the
up there
bins.
on height, I think that you can make a coordinated play. Obviously, the team below can make a coordinated play as well.
Yeah.
But I think whenever I saw that and I heard like those comments, I was like, dude, I feel like Slayer's actually not playing that like horribly. Because at the top, like,
I
you have that
agree.
box, you have a ton of different angles. Like they can't take stairs from you. Like I was like, I feel like he was actually in the right position.
No,
and I don't know
yeah.
what happened.
Because we're only watching Funk's POV on it, I think.
Right.
And now, well, actually, sorry, finish.
No, you're good. I think if they actually legitimately want to have a chance, if they can somehow squash beef, doubt it. Like I don't know what even is going on in their camp like tonight. Like even tonight, like I don't know what's even going on. So, but one thing I was like, okay, if it's like that big of an issue, if you feel like he's getting caught out, like make a legend swap. Like you gotta like change the comp up in some regard. Like I think he can play Cat. I mean, let him play Cat or figure something out. If like you feel like Cossack is one of the reasons why, like play some sort of controller legend that'll allow you to. I mean, that was my.
I didn't blame
that was
them.
an initial thought.
I
It was
didn't
like,
blame
maybe-
them for not making too many changes today, although they did have a better day today, because you already knew you were going to have to make a loser's run. Tomorrow is what I'm interested to see. Like, tomorrow I'm interested to see if there is, like, a swap of legends or if they're going to try swapping things up. That's what... Because going into today, you knew the only way that they even had a chance is if they had, like, a record-breaking Dark Zero day, which...
Not
Even
gonna
in that
happen.
set that was like their better day, there was that one game Sweet ratted and then almost won, which was gonna.
Well, that was-
I think
was
he
crazy.
could have won
That
that,
was-
if he goes maybe
Yeah.
like a second or
second
two
later,
early.
you're
I
saying?
thought he had to go earlier. I
Oh,
thought he had to
earlier you're
go a
saying
little
okay,
earlier.
okay, yeah.
before they got the
but-
armor swaps, basically.
Yeah. But I couldn't imagine what happened during that game comp wise.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Well, hold on. Are we ready to have the conversation about the org literally dropping
Oh.
Legacy and
Oh
picking
shoot,
up-
we could talk about
Yeah,
that.
They're
like
in
now.
14th. It wasn't like some crazy inspirational run, but they went to winners, and the other team's in 35th.
I feel
And
like
honestly, they played
It's not
beyond
over
their
yet.
best.
Like LG's not.
No, I
eliminated.
know they're not playing their
They're
best,
not
but-
eliminated yet. But all I'm saying is like
14th to 35th.
when
it's
it
a big gap.
initially happened, I in my head was thinking, watch how this is gonna play out.
It's gonna happen.
I feel like everybody kind of
They
thought it was
placed
gonna
fifth
happen.
at champs,
Yeah.
like, and you dropped that team. Like,
Yeah.
I get the content stuff, but
Yeah, I mean that's just the only reason why they dropped him. I think
I'm glad
like
they're on Team Liquid.
I've said that like
I'm glad they're signed.
Yeah.
if you want to look at the numbers, if you looked at the numbers between Energy to LG, because of that second place that Energy had, it was somewhat of a lateral move. But if you looked at the more recent performance, XLG or Liquid currently, like a Liquid, they were better. I don't think it was ever a performance thing. I think it was a content thing. Which
Nice.
then LG, yeah, sorry, I'll throw it out there. LG seems to not be doing content anyways, right? They just it's just a sweet streamer for them too. That's it, right? Because
Yeah.
they're not doing content.
I think what JHawk said. I think everybody knew low key was gonna happen. Like it just felt like a karma move.
at least. Like
It just felt like a weird karma move, and I don't think it's the fault of like Sweet and anybody, because like you're gonna take that deal.
No, yeah, you get an offer, you take
and
the offer.
you take the offer, so it's not their fault. I just feel like when you saw it happen, you're like, watch. The team that did really, really well for them is going to do really, really well again.
And the funny thing is, during Pro League, it was actually looking the opposite for a bit. Like LG was sitting in like fourth for a little bit
Yeah.
there, while like Legacy was.
Well, they just had so many like internet.
Yeah,
problems.
it wasn't their fault. Like as
Yeah.
soon as like that stuff shaped up, like you saw like the way the standings flipped.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So okay. Anything else on the final block before we kind of round this bad boy out with the winners and losers brackets?
I was just the only other thing that was cool was E8 won 2 games too. So
E8 was awesome.
The funny thing is, out of 6 games, we had 3 from Dark Zero, 2 from
E8
E8.
was awesome. Zach was making
was
great
it.
calls. His rotates were so sick. There was so many times
His
you're
hair
looking
was
at
so
the
sick as
His
well.
hair
Yeah.
was so sick. You're watching him rotate into
Sorry.
there.
Who won the game one? Who won the last game?
I love you.
Them, who won the last game? The first game, and technically, the E8 and Dark Zero didn't win.
TSM won game one.
TSM won
TSM.
game. Yes, I missed game one. That's right. Yeah, TSM.
No.
TSM E8 Dark Zero.
TSM gets a win.
When did we ever hear a story
E8 was
about
awesome.
Dark Zero TSM before?
E8 was
Sounds
so
like a new script.
This would have been such a great, awesome day for them if Dark Zero's just not in the lobby. You'd be like, oh, wow, this is so cool.
I'm sure they're going
they're-
into tonight happy about it though.
Yeah, they're
It was a JHawk
definitely
buff
happy.
for sure. as
No,
well.
yeah, the
Some are
JHawk
saying-
content buff.
Look at that, and then look at the right side.
The right side. Who's the guy on the right?
sorry, the left side,
The
left
left
side.
side. Yeah, I
Yeah.
see me. I'm just looking at the guy right there. Yeah.
Just look at your face, right?
Because I was trying to figure out what the hell the sign was. I'm looking at the back of a white thing,
Also,
and then
I'm as white as possible.
oh my god, look at you! Yeah, they got the light on you. I didn't even
They
see-
actually made me
Wyatt.
more white.
Wyatt,
If it's
right.
possible.
Or no,
au-
Wyatt,
for the
Finn,
audio
sorry.
only listeners, is a man in the stands holding up the picture of Jen Burton doing the caught thing where he's got his hands up. You know,
I'm
destroy-
cheating. I'm cheating.
And Jumba is off to the left looking up at him. And I'm making a reference here, so if you don't get it, shame, you don't have to go look it up. But there's a photo of
TS like
Verhulst
yeah.
flexing and
And
Hal's
Imperial Hal
looking up
looking
at
at
him longingly, smiling. Like, I love that man. And Jumba's giving that same look towards this Jen Burton
Well, how
poster.
about I flex this here today? Look at this.
You got the Dark
It says
Zero
Dark
shirt?
Zero. It
Zero
says
tee
Dark
this
Zero.
morning. Yeah, it says Dark Zero. Put on the Dark Zero tee this morning. Woke up. I'm like, I'm gonna wear that today. These boys break all these records. I
Could
think I had
be-
something to do with it.
Could be Jumba.
That is
Just want to
true.
say, I think I had something
The
to do with it.
Jumbuff.
Nice.
Some are
dude.
saying. Some are saying.
I was talking to like I did just finish getting a beer with one of the guys that like works for Dark Zero, as I proceed to walk over and then watch them crush this set. So I don't know.
Maybe. The Jumbuff. The Jumbuff.
No. Realistically though, that E8, this guy's content buff. We worked on that shit for the past like 2 days or so. The VP one airs, VP buff. E8
We
one
just have buffs,
airs,
except when
and then
I
they
talk.
win 2 games. There
When
you
I
go.
do it, it's a nerf.
Yeah.
I put on my real order shirt. I
Chat.
swear they just got shit on like 3
Chat.
games in a row.
Chat listeners, I want you to know I told Wyatt to take the over on 0 kills in that final set, and he
But
said
hold
that's
on.
a lot.
That-
11's a lot.
That evens out because you also told me to take something else
Okay,
that did not
but here's
hit.
the thing. Here's the thing.
Actually, he told you 2 things
'Cause-
that definitely did
'cause
hit
here-
though.
Oh, hold on, chat. He came to me and he said, if you had to pick anybody on Virtus Pro or Virtus Pro who would get the most kills,
Wait, did you do that on purpose?
I got you.
Hold on. Did you say that on purpose?
no.
Oh my
Virtuous
gosh.
sounds better.
He literally said Virtuous Pro 8 billion
It's
times
not-
last night.
Anyway.
I thought that was a troll. Did you?
No,
Okay.
it's because we've actually, as we were working on it, a
Virtuous.
lot of
Oh
people,
my
as we were
gosh.
working on the video, a lot of people were calling them Virtuous Pro around us.
Oh
As me and Jay kept saying Virtus Pro, and then today we're like, what? How do you pronounce it? And then we also realized in EU, you said it's Virtus, like that. They say.
Yeah, I've heard them. in
Virtus
other
Pro,
esports.
they've
I don't
also
know.
said.
I don't know how it's pronounced.
It- there's-
Anyway,
but it's
I thought it
definitely-
was called
being-
Virtus Pro from CS. Like
Yeah,
from
I thought
CS
Virtus Pro from CS. Listen, I like the way Jay said it. I like the way you said it. It's definitely not virtuous. Continue
Yeah.
with what you're doing.
So you came to me and said, if you had to pick anybody on Virtus Pro who's gonna get the most kills, who would you pick? First off, for the record, like if you're gonna ask me to make a bet, don't give me only one team to choose from, because I probably wouldn't have picked them like to start off.
I didn't know that was.
Because then I was like,
Jay.
then I was like, pricey.
Yeah, I did too.
And I think I don't know. They didn't get that many kills. They had a banger game one and sucked the rest of the set, which didn't matter because they didn't need it.
I'm just a nerf. You guys buff. I just.
But
No,
so that
no, I'm
happens.
typically a
That
jinx.
happens. Then all of a sudden I start taking the reins here and actually start picking the teams. I said, what are the DZ numbers? And it was Gen 9, Sykes 10, 0, 11. I said Gen 9. That's actually no, let's go 0, 11. You could have taken any of them and you would have hit.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that.
You did walk away, and I looked at them and I go, but 11's kind of a lot of kills, so it might have
dude.
been me. Like, might have
is
been
a
me.
lot,
I
but
will throw it on
it's-
you though.
They would break the record when I look at
Just
all
to be
the
clear, I
boys.
will throw.
Yeah, I will
on
throw
you.
it on him.
I
Because I
look
mean,
at,
like,
I look at all the boys.
You
who
just
got
gotta
over
think
themselves.
about the
Jay.
meta, man. Like Zero plays the Bloodhound. He's
I
gonna
know, but
fry. He is.
I
the
do want to
fragger.
throw out something though. I didn't tell you to bet the under on Zero.
also,
I
I
didn't
wanna
say bet the
say-
under. I said just don't bet.
Also, let the record show. I said take the under on Funk at 10, and that was right.
That was
too.
our
That
only
one.
leg that
That's the
hit.
one I said that both should
so
have
the
had.
ones that I took control of.
He did give you 2 calls.
The
He did
ones
give
that
you
I
2
took
calls.
control
That-
of
Hold
were
on,
right.
is literally all the bets that we have given you been the ones that you have won?
Yes.
I did say I would take
my
ownership
gosh.
of the price you won, but then I thought about it. I remember
Yeah,
you
why?
specifically
You
said
can't
I
do that. You already
no,
took the
you
ownership.
specifically
I
said
don't want it
I
back.
had to pick Virtus Pro. Also, you word these questions as if like you're not placing money on it. You said if you had to pick anybody from Virtus Pro who'd get the most kills,
Because
like,
I
who would
asked
you
you
pick?
once before
You
and
didn't
you're
even
like,
tell
I
me
don't
the
do that.
number. You just said who would get the most kills. Who would you pick?
Well, because
That's a different
I
question
asked you
than
a long
who-
time ago, and you were like, "Oh no, I don't do that because I don't want you to get mad at me." So then I have to phrase
Then
it in
I
a way where it
realized
sounds
that
like
you're
I'm
garbage at it anyway. So like even if I give you a wrong take, like you're 0 at 22.
Yeah,
Fair.
no, I just told you not to bet on it because I'm like 11 kills is a lot. I said
And
like
then
he
he
definitely
fucking
can
just
do
pops
it.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he definitely can do it. But like you guys, like since you lose so much money on it, I'm like if you don't want to lose, like that might be a riskier one. And I said, but Funk under 10. That's a pretty good one. Like Funk, I said Funk under 10 is freer than 0 over 11. You should. Did you do either?
not. I don't even know what I did anymore. I just
disgusting.
lose.
Name Riddle's 3 players.
No, don't do that. That's so.
No, do it. Name
Yuka
him right.
F.
No.
It's already.
Fanatic, complexity. Give me one more. Fill out the roster.
Did you say Fanatic?
Yeah, he said Yuka F, Fanatic, Monsoon, complexity, not Riddle,
Faker.
T1.
T1,
T1,
League of
T1.
Legends. And who's the coach?
MK Leo. MK Leo.
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney.
Not even a gamer.
Imagine she was a coach of an Apex team.
For all the listeners out there, the real roster is Yukio,
That's a-
Saku, and Meltstera.
I was almost there.
Shout out APAC North. Yukio, the CEO of
I was
Japan,
almost there.
Meltstera, formerly of Fnatic, and Saku.
Okay.
I like the
Shout
name
out.
Yukio.
Yukio.
Yeah.
They got Yukio, Yuka F,
He's
and
the
then
guy who
Yuka
does the
Predator.
dances.
Like,
on
that's-
the
that was
so
podcast.
confusing.
Yeah, it's super confusing because then after I'm like, okay, Yuka Predator, that's
It's not actually
that's-
Predator for the record.
It's not?
Perodator.
Perodator.
P-E-R-O-D and Dator.
Paradator.
Yeah.
I listen to Wig too much. He used to call,
Everybody-
he definitely
yeah,
called
no,
him
he
Yuka
definitely
Predator.
says Predator, but it's
Okay.
P-E-R.
Oh,
so,
okay.
yeah.
But
Wig
yeah,
does it, we can do it.
the names.
Nah, Wig calls you Jumba.
Yeah,
and you wanted him to correct him. So
the
let's
funny
see what
thing is,
happens.
we saw him today. What's up, Jumba? Like I think now me telling him the correction is gonna make him say it the other way. Which
That's true.
honestly, I'm almost at this point where I'm like, I want that to keep going. I want that to keep going.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Seems
I'm
better
actually
that way.
shocked that team made it. The two rollers, but it's
Two R1C?
two rats.
2R1C.
Two R1C.
Yeah, two
just go
R1C
to
actually
R1C.
made it to finals.
Or winners.
Excuse
Yeah.
me, winners. Yeah, I did not think
That's your bad.
that is my bad. I didn't think that based off their first day, I didn't think that they were gonna pop. Here we are.
They popped.
Yeah, we can get into.
You want to get into it?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's get
so
into
let me
it
run
so we can
into.
end
Let me just name off the teams in winners
Just
real
on
quick.
them, by the way, they had 39 points in that last set. They got fifth, so everybody's talking about DZ, but they had a really good last set.
39
That's
for
what
fifth?
I think they had to
What
have that. To
No, they
win.
did.
What
They
did LG get? Because they had 30.
LG
Seven?
got
71.
37.
They got 37. What place
37.
does that drop them to, though?
They were ninth.
That's
they're
interesting.
35th on the overall.
They're
leaderboard,
35th overall.
Yeah, no. On the overall leaderboard, that's fine. I was just interested. 9th to 5th was a 2-point gap, but still. Because
It
like,
doesn't matter.
no, yeah, because like in the group stages, like people are, like someone walked up to me like, oh, this team got like they only got like 5th. I'm like, yeah, but like what was the
What is
point
the
spread?
total points?
And like they
Yeah.
had like 3 less points than like
Yeah, it's like,
third.
guys,
I'm like,
it's really
yeah,
not
it's
that big of
really
a
not
deal.
that big of a
Yeah.
deal. Like if they have 3 less points than third.
I get why they do it because you have to for production value, but really, it could just be like
Yeah.
total points. But
Yeah. It matters when you have a 60-point difference.
It's
That's
true,
when it
yeah.
matters.
Okay, Wyatt.
Okay, you guys want to run through the teams that made it in?
Yeah. This holding this towel has been like a grip strength workout, by the way.
Good.
Like I don't know
I'm
if that's
glad.
just
You're
me.
great forearm.
Yeah.
Screw the towel.
The teams.
Imagine.
The teams that made it into the winners bracket. Obviously, Dark Zero, Aurora, Alliance, Fnatic, E8, Reject Winity, Virtuous Pro, SSG, Furia. We got Not Moist. We got Serenity, 07. We've got Team Liquid. We've got TSM, Legend. We have Made in Heaven. We have 2R1C, Complexity. We have Red Rams. And then we round it out with Crazy Raccoons. They made it in by just 1 point.
In that last game too.
In the
all they
last
had-
game,
while DZ was destroying
Oxygen-
the whole lobby, they literally
Oxygen
just
had a
stayed
fight
alive.
that they probably could have pulled out of.
Say that again. Sorry.
Oxygen had a fight I think they probably could have pulled out of and maybe got like reset, and they decided to like kind of push it, and that ended up costing them the winners. But, well, theoretically, because Crazy Raccoon survived a while in that game, so
Yeah.
who knows what
They got
happens.
fourth
But
place.
yeah, so those are our teams. They made it into winners. Any surprises for you guys?
I was talking about them before. Made in Heaven again. It's just pretty sick to see that they made finals with everything that they went through. So, and I guess I bring up Made in Heaven specifically because Jay and I had them as early exit, and so that's now definitely not the case. They made it past that, and I know they quote tweeted it a lot. And like my thing was like I think I like the Made in Heaven guys. They quote tweeted it like, just wait, we're gonna prove you wrong. I guess they did. I want them to.
bookmarked it.
I want them to prove us wrong. And you know, if that's the motivation that they need, do it. I like those guys a lot, and I wanted to see them do good. The only reason we even did that was because just they didn't have the experience. But you know, they're out here doing great things. So shout out to Made in Heaven boys.
Jay, you have any that jumped off the page for you?
Shout out Serenity, Apex South team. Didn't think they would be doing good, but I did. I think I mentioned on our tier list stream that Zero and Moist, when DZ and Moist, when they did theirs, put them kind of higher than I expected, and so maybe there was something there that
Yeah,
I
that's something
just
they knew.
did, you know,
Something we
one
just
of
didn't
those,
know.
One of those, you know, I'm not familiar with your game moments.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did really good. I will say though, they have Bugie, who was on Black Hand at Split 2 playoffs. Like he's
Yeah.
made finals at LAN before, so he's really good. I've heard really positive things about Legacy. I think he's
Yeah.
M&K
That's-
player on the
All I
roster.
keep hearing is he's like the most underrated player, like
Yeah.
coming up.
I know
like,
B-Rad is all.
Yeah, like B-Rad's the big person. That's look,
He's the one
not
that's
just a
home.
tall guy, but yeah, I just mean B-Rad's
he
the
also
person
is physically
that is big
tall.
on him.
Yes.
Yeah, not talking physically, but yeah, I've heard that he's just. But even around from other people, people keep coming up to me like, you know anything about Legacy, and I hear that he's just crazy underrated right now.
Moving on into the loser side of things, we have Oxygen. We have, how do you say it? Is it Kinotrope?
Kenotrope.
Yeah,
Is it Kinotrope?
control.
Skipping
Okay.
a omit.
What? Omit's right below them, aren't they?
They got 22nd. Kenotrope got 23rd.
Oh,
Wow.
It's flipped on mine.
Wikipedia, man.
it's flipped
Don't
on my
trust
thing.
Wikipedia. Battle
Next
Wow.
was
Battle
Omit.
Fight for life, baby.
We had Boogie Borders. We had Heroes. DSG. They're going to have to make a run. The BR Demons. We have How. We have Navi. We have the Geared Gaming. We've got Cloud9. We also have Passion UA. We have WMNDY. We have Wonton Dumplings. Luminosity Gaming. Then we have MDY White. some of these names, dude. Tom Yum Koon, then we have Northeption, we've got
hearing why I
Riddle,
have to go
and
through
then we have Never to Change.
That made the show. Just
I do find it funny that you why don't you just be like anything that jumps off the page or the bottom 20?
probably
You
could've
like to
done
go.
that.
You like to go through name every specific one.
Just in case somebody wanted the list.
The one on the list.
Somebody, just in case.
a bit surprised.
Battlefy.com's /
I think this is more. Like the ones that are more surprising. Obviously, DSG for me, Navi for me.
No, I was about to. I knew you were gonna say Navi for some reson. I was gonna say.
How
I think
did you know that?
because I know that the least surprising, especially even for like the two of us, was Navi. like 'cause
You don't believe Matafi?
they go
They've
early exit
placed-
every time.
they've
40th,
placed 31st
and
and 40th.
30th first. Yeah, they
But
exit
you
the
gotta think experience.
No, they
No.
clearly aren't using experience. They
We have
they
yet
go
to
losers
see-
round one both times after
I-
always finishing first in the region or
I
third in
want
the
them
region.
to prove me wrong, but I've yet to ever see them actually convince me that
So they need to let him wear the face paint.
they place top 3 in EMEA every season, and then they show up in LAN and don't do anything. So
Jay-
it's not alliance effect.
they just don't.
Except
do anything on
alliance
LAN.
does well in groups.
Alliance does
Wait,
well. Aurora 07, like these kind of teams do well. Made in Heaven literally just made it to a winners bracket, and
You have
Matafi's been
them-
to LAN so many times.
You had them like higher up on past tier lists and stuff like that, right? Like
Yeah, my first ever tier list. Well, I don't know. I don't think I made a tier list split 1 playoffs.
No.
Because I literally just started making videos. But split 2 playoffs, I had them as like a wild card. Because like, okay, they did place 31st, but they're a really good EMEA team. Maybe it was a fluke. Then they placed 40th, so it's like, okay, it's not a fluke anymore. Like,
so it's like a fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice,
Well,
shame
guess
on me.
what?
Jay's
I've
like,
been-
I'm not gonna be fooled the third time.
I have been fooled 3 times.
only
Yeah,
3
okay.
times. Can't get fooled
Anything?
again.
Are you?
Shout out to George Bush.
I thought you were gonna say J Cole too.
Well, he uses George
Also
Bush.
J Cole
Yeah.
as well, but also Georgia W.
Yeah,
W.
yeah.
What were you?
Anyway,
asked
no,
me a
no,
question.
no, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree with
I
that.
mean, obviously LG, we had lengthy discussion
Yeah.
about them, but was Northeption supposed to be not good? Like, I was surprised by that.
Northeption doesn't fight. Like they literally just sit behind their Newcastle wall, and because I VOD reviewed them once in scrims, and then when I was doing it, Vane and some other pros popped in, and like they literally just refuse to fight. They will take 0 space. All their points come from placement. They'll like rotate to a good spot and then just like hunker down, and they'll let anybody walk up on them for free and kill them. So yeah, no, I had pretty low expectations
Okay,
for them because
tight.
of that.
I
Wait,
do hear
wasn't
that.
Northeption used to not be that way, right?
No, they used to be like a pretty heavy fighting team.
Yeah.
But then they realized they weren't very good at doing that on LAN. Like they didn't ever make finals, so they kind of changed. But I feel like they have to find a mix because they just literally those scrims. I remember specifically watching, and I was like they need to be claiming space and defending space, and they're just sitting in a corner waiting for someone to walk up and kill them. Now, I haven't watched their POV of LAN, so I don't know if they were doing that.
I think
specifically,
Riddle
but-
does something tomorrow.
Bro,
This guy
Biden-
was sitting there so
Bro
quiet.
gets a free Riddle fan one time, and all of a sudden, I
just
just
said I
got
think
this
they might do
feeling
something tomorrow.
that they're gonna do
What?
something.
But what?
They're
Well,
What do you think the roster
There's
of
so many things I
Yuka
could-
F, Monsoon,
many things
Sydney Sweeney,
and Faker.
and Faker are gonna do tomorrow?
there's so many things I could say. It's just it's all flooding in, and I'm trying to like piece
You think
together.
that Sydney's just giving them a pep talk, and she's gonna smack their asses, and they're gonna shape up?
Dude, I don't
Yeah.
think
I
Faker's
mean-
ever played Apex, bro.
Yeah,
Listen,
but he's a goat in another esport, so I think he
probably
can
got
figure
it.
it
I
out.
think Riddle
He could.
pops off tomorrow, bro. I don't know what it is.
Nice, dude. That's really good.
It has nothing to do with the fact that I got a free fan and bought a shirt. Nothing to do with that.
Is that what? Is it meant to be a fan?
Huh?
Is it,
That's
I
what
know
it said
everyone because
on the-
I
on
do
the
see
table.
everyone using it,
supposed to.
but
Do you guys want to talk about DSG, or have we already discussed them? Not enough on screen to be able to make it a
my thing with DSG is this: is what I want. Selfishly, I want them to make a losers bracket run, win this fucking tournament. Because a banging fucking video I want. So please make it happen.
Jumba's stealing what I told him in the arena.
Stealing?
today.
You think I
literally
couldn't think of
said-
that? You think I couldn't
literally
think of
said,
that?
Jumba, I can't wait for them to go to losers and then win the tournament, and then I'm gonna make my hype intros like I do. And I said I'm gonna literally do what I did with the TSM one, where Hal says I am the grind, but it's gonna be designed saying get comfortable being uncomfortable.
I'm not gonna do that.
No, I'm
just making the
I'm
losers
just saying,
bracket
now
run.
you ripped my exact
Yeah,
idea.
no, I'm not. I make like 5-second intros. So I
Not
wasn't
the
doing
intro
that.
idea, but the whole. I want them to go to losers and win the tournament. so I
We
can
we
make a
were
banger
we were
video.
sitting there together as I looked at you and go. At least if they go to losers bracket, they can make a losers bracket one, and you go, no one's ever won from losers bracket before. I'm like, it'd make a pretty good story.
Sorry. Okay.
No,
Cool.
we're
so
good.
we're good on DS Street.
Yeah.
They're
Like,
gonna be fine. They'll make it through to finals still,
What
I
about
think.
Oxygen?
I also think they're gonna be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
yeah. I find it funny. Like, you think I couldn't figure out that storyline?
I'm just saying.
You went
first
straight back.
first
to
losers. I'm just.
All I'm saying
just-
is I said that exact thing.
This is
and
what
then
you need.
know.
You know
Riddle to
what?
win.
You know
That's
what?
I
a
don't.
hell
I
of a
do think you
story.
could have thought of the storyline.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
you said what I said word for word.
I definitely
I think-
didn't say like.
I think what
Mine
we
is
need
the
is.
I didn't.
I think what we need is Riddle
It's
to win.
okay.
That's what we need.
You said Riddle to win.
The whole thing.
They're not gonna win.
You know what? I've been
The
giving.
Sydney Sweeney's
You know what
not
the
a good
thing is?
coach.
How do you know?
She doesn't even know what Apex Legends is.
I think she does.
She'd probably lie about it too and say she does. Fun fact: she's a liar. Saw that somewhere in the tabloids.
Those are always right. Those are never wrong.
She was
ever.
getting called out because she went on SNL and apparently just spewed a bunch of BS and people fact checked her and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, she just lied about everything."
That's crazy.
So she
Sweet.
would say that she's like won an Apex LAN before or something.
You know a lot about Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Big fan.
Yeah, she's.
Got a great heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does great work.
personality.
Good person.
She does great work.
Sounds. I hear she's a
a
good.
terrible Apex coach.
No, I heard she's a great Apex coach.
Oh, I think that remains to be seen. I think we have to see her in the booth, see if she can coach them up first. You know?
Terrible Apex coach.
Okay, so
Faker would choke under pressure.
you guys expected most of those teams to be at the bottom.
It's you know what.
The only teams
Maybe
looking
not,
at
like,
it that
I
I,
don't know.
wouldn't have expected to be the bottom are the North American.
Yeah,
teams.
like that's what I'm saying. But anytime.
Oh, that's not true. Boogie Borders, BR Demons, TYK. I also thought would have not been in losers bracket. I don't know enough about TYK to really have a comment on why they're doing bad. Same with Boogie Borders. BR Demons. Like I said, they're kind of hyped up dark horse. I was pretty impressed by them in scrims.
This is what makes this sport so great, though, is like you play so bad for 2 days and then you just get a reset. Like you still have to
the
go further.
double elimination.
But-
It's a good system.
Yeah, you have to go further and you have to work a lot harder. But like, if you believe that you are the team, you know, that made it here in the first place, then it's cool. I like the way it's set up because you can have these shitty days and then just come back and find your way through.
One last thing for me.
Yeah.
I really like that Fnatic was playing Mirage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
That
was
was
game.
just trolling.
I know.
Yes.
I-
Fnatic
they
likes to
qualled.
have-
They
They like
qualled.
to have a
The
good
Mirage
time,
is
dude.
always great.
In scrims, they were having so much fun, dude.
They were. I think they were different players, like two of them. But back in the day, Fnatic accidentally picked Lifeline during champs.
Oh, dude, and Yuka had
And-
the nastiest, like
Yeah, they did.
taps-
They-
tap jump, whatever it was.
Yeah, tap
You know
straight.
what I'm talking
I think so. Yeah, they pulled off like some like couple big what's it called fights, 3v3 fights. Considering the fact that Lifeline was terrible at that era, but there's a really cool video online of them just like putting every single like player's point of view, going, "What the fuck, Lifeline?" Right? Like everyone, and then like, and the funny thing too is like it's a tournament where Furia is like popping off, so everyone's like, fucking life, that's gotta be Furia. And then it goes to Furia, and Furia's like, Lifeline? What the fuck's a Lifeline in this lobby for? It's such a good video. It's on Elbin Gate, actually.
That's great. Okay, well, ladies and gents, that should just about do it for day number 2 breakdown. Tomorrow, obviously, we have winners and losers, so we're going to be getting a much clearer picture of what's going to be going down throughout the rest of the weekend, and it's going to be a very, very fun day. Thank you guys for tuning in on
Wait.
the stream.
Put all of you on the hot seat right now.
Oh, here we go. He's asking
Oh,
me
you
to
wanna
show.
go
Who
hot seat
wins the winners bracket and who wins the losers bracket round 1? We can't do losers bracket round 2 because we don't know.
Are we
Winners bracket round,
voting
like
DZ
top
in here? Or
10?
are we taking DZ out?
No, you can take DZ if you want. You
Your
can-
top.
Oh, are you saying top 10?
for tomorrow? Like top
No,
10?
no.
No, he's saying
No,
win.
just
Win.
who wins
First
winners
place. First
round
place.
one, who
Like, who
wins
wins it?
losers.
Who wins losers round 1? Because it's
Yeah.
the bottom 20, and who wins
Okay.
winners bracket. We can go like top 3s if you want, but I don't know.
I'm just,
Let's
going,
just
just,
do
I'm just
one.
doing
Let's
one.
just
Just
do
doing
one.
one. Just do one.
I mean, you can pick DZ if you want. You know, I don't care.
I actually really think Oxygen's probably going to win.
The reason I'm
losers.
interested in this is because that's what they do for the talent prediction things. They make you put all 3 sets a day early, so you can't get like the feel of the room.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh,
Yeah, so
damn.
literally like all of
You're
a
just-
sudden like
That's tough.
Virtus Pro like pops off like, and it's like your other 2 sets like you already picked, so you can't like change it. So I want to see y'all do both of them ahead of time.
I'm gonna do.
They don't affect each other, but
I'm gonna do Oxygen wins the losers.
Okay.
And for the winners, I'm gonna say. What do I think?
You want the list?
I don't want to do DZ. Oh, I'm gonna go Alliance. That's who I think wins the winners. What do you guys think?
Oh, I thought you were gonna go Finn.
I can go next. Yeah,
Cool.
I'll go DSG. And I also don't want to just take DZ, even though that's definitely like me to do. Dude, I'll go VP actually.
Oh.
Virtuous?
Yeah, I'll go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go Virtuous Pro for sure.
That's metal.
I was thinking Cloud9 actually, for losers,
Okay.
and then I think all of us by saying not DZ, we're actually thinking DZ.
Yeah.
for sure.
So if I
definitely are.
didn't, I know Jay even said you can pick DZ, but because I'm not gonna pick DZ, even though I think it will be them, I was actually gonna also go Alliance.
Okay.
So yeah,
Jay.
Oxygen Dark Zero.
Archer Ducks.
Okay.
Jay,
And,
wow.
Jay,
He doesn't get
Jay
to-
on the talent predictions
Yeah,
likes to be
that's what I'm
like, I
saying.
want to be different. I want to be different. But
Yeah,
here he wants to just.
now
They
he's
just
just
dropped
like, dude.
250
Yeah, they
points.
dropped
and you
250
idiots
points.
aren't picking
But
Dark
like,
Zero.
no, it's
Okay,
really
that's
you.
so
All of
logical.
us-
Great point.
All of us straight up said we're not going to pick Dark
If
Zero,
you guys
knowing
all
Dark
thought
Zero is the
DZ,
thing.
I wasn't gonna say him, but the moment none of you did,
You're
I'm gonna say
such,
Dark
and then
Zero.
you throw us under the bus.
That's an easy pick.
Throw us under the bus. Guys like, yeah, you're not going to pick him.
That's an easy pick.
I mean, I will say in bracket stage, it's I don't think DZ is gonna drop 120 points. Like,
No.
and Alliance has been farming, so they can
No.
definitely
No.
win.
It's gonna be
Did
tough.
you already do your talent predictions? Did you send them in?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I was going to say, what did you
Bring 'em
do?
tomorrow?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck
We'll be
out there.
judging really
All right,
hard.
well,
When
ladies
he
and
doesn't
gents,
pick DZ because the entire lobby there, talent staff does.
that'd be funny. All
I
right,
mean,
well,
the
ladies-
winners, bro. People are just gonna pick Aurora, Alliance, or DZ.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
who else
it's
would you
literally
pick?
gonna be
Yeah.
those three. It's gonna be.
I'm
those
gonna
three.
throw a YOLO pick and just say.
He's
like,
gonna
Space
say
Station.
Do
SSG.
Fnatic.
already
Oh,
are.
do
Yeah.
Space
No, he's
Shoes?
not gonna say Fury.
Did you already voted Fnatic once, right? This.
Yeah,
Fry.
I
Yeah,
did
it's okay.
Fnatic once.
Oh,
You like
I
it.
haven't done SSG yet. So,
Okay,
you know,
so
I'll throw it in there.
SSG is good.
Okay, we good?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're
Wrap
good.
it up.
I just wanted to make sure nobody had anything else. All right, well, ladies and gents, it's pretty damn late. We still got to drive back, so we're gonna end this bad boy here. Thank you guys for tuning in as always, and as well, tomorrow we will be live on Twitch if you want to catch it there, and then it'll be in podcast form if you can't catch it and you miss it, but you still want to listen to the episode. It'll still be on all of the
And maybe
podcasting
YouTube.
platforms and potentially YouTube now that we have the pod. Thank you guys for
.com.
tuning in as always. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Good night.
Thanks, stream.
I like that, Jay. I feel like.